Good evening, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome, everyone. Gender fluid. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to everyone. Uh, Liverpool 1, Napoli 4 at the Maradona Stadium. Right. I've got to just get some shite off my chest before we kick on. Welcome to everyone in the chat, by the way. Big up to everyone who's joining me right now. Thank you very much for coming in at this late hour. So Liverpool lose 4-1 against Napoli tonight. Now, I don't mind losing games. Losing games happens in sport, you know. Not every sports team or sports person or sports lady or whatever can win every single game or event or activity or whatever it is they play. You just can't. Losing is inevitable in sport. It happens. But there's a way you lose. There's a way you lose. You can lose with a gutsy performance and the other team's just better on the day. We put our hands up. That's acceptable. That's fine. You lost. You did everything you can, but the other person, the other team, whoever it is, was just that little bit better than you on the day. That's fine. No one worries about that sort of thing. Today, tonight, so far this season, it's not acceptable. This kind of loss today is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. The football today was appalling. Appalling. The tactics today were appalling. The coaching was appalling. The players were appalling. The manager was appalling. Everyone was appalling. This weren't a this. There's so many issues in this team right now. A lot of issues in this team right now. Too many to go through in one video tonight, guys. Especially it's late at night. And big up to everyone in the chat. 56 people in the invite already. Big up to everyone. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. There was probably a couple of players on the pitch that weren't appalling. I haven't got anyone's chat. I haven't got the chat up at the moment, guys. So bear with me. I'm not looking at the chat. I just want to get this off my chest and I'll get to the chat. So the people that weren't appalling today, in my opinion, I thought Alisson, superb, can only do what he can do. You know, none of the goals were his fault. Leads by example. I thought Harvey Elliott had a fine performance, drove, never gave up, showed passion, showed heart. Maybe he hasn't always got the technical quality against some of the opposition that he's playing, but he doesn't give up. These sort of players, and Diaz, obviously. Diaz, exceptional performance. Really took the game by the scruff of the neck for Liverpool. And then Thiago when he came on. Thiago, once again, I keep saying it, and I will say it again and again and again and again. Thiago Alcantara is our best defender. I can't keep telling people this. Our defence in midfield looked tremendously better. I don't even know if that's a word, but it looked far better when Thiago came onto the pitch. I've been saying it for time. Jurgen Klopp. Now, I've had arguments with people on Twitter already. The Devil's Playground, you know how it is, guys. I've had arguments with people on Twitter already. And there's too much Klopp love. There's too much Klopp. I think there's a time now when we're coming at people actually love Jurgen Klopp more in the football club. And this is becoming an issue. It's either that or it's all FSG's fault. Like FSG picked the tactics and the formation that Jurgen Klopp plays. Like they tell Jurgen, right, you're going to play 4-3-3 with dead footballers and you're going to continue playing 4-3-3. You're going to continue playing a high line when you know Gomez and Van Dijk are struggling, but you're going to continue that high line against extremely quick players that are coming from deep and can't handle their pace. So we're going to continue playing that high line. Apparently, that's the owner's fault. No, it's the management, it's the coaching. You're playing the game. I'm watching this game, and I'm about 30 minutes in. I think we're already 2-0 down. Should have been 5. And I'm watching this game thinking, we're getting annihilated. And it's lucky it's only 2-0, because this really could be 5-0 after 30 minutes. I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm watching Osherman. And look, I can't pronounce the Georgian player. Tremendous little footballer. But they're running from deep every time against a high line. Van Dijk and Gomez need help. They need support at this time. And what's Jurgen Klopp doing? He's hanging them out to dry in some ways, because we're continuing playing this high line. Now, tactically, he should go, right, boys, regroup. Everyone drop back 5 yards. Everyone drop back 5 yards. This isn't working. Let's regroup. Everyone drop back. They're getting too much ball. They're getting in with too much space. Let's try and hold this out till half time. Keep defending. Just defend a little deep at the moment, because they're getting in space far too easy. The space was far too easy to get them into, because we keep playing high line all the time. Getting a high line all the time. Now, I don't mind getting beat by the better team, as I've already said at the beginning of this video. If you get beat by the better team, that's fine. Got no problem with that. But if you get beaten by a team, I don't think are better, really, but you're putting in no effort whatsoever, I can't take that. I'm sorry. I can't take it. I can't take. Yes, Napoli are a very good side, but you can't tell me Liverpool on their best day, with the players we do have at our disposal, shouldn't be putting up a better performance than what you saw tonight. What we saw tonight is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, and it shouldn't be happening. This is at elite level. Like everyone's saying, I can see down there, people saying Milner played, that's down to FSG. No, it ain't. No, it's not. That is down to Jurgen Klopp asking and begging FSG to give James Milner another year contract. Do you guys really think James Milner should be at our football club still? No. He shouldn't be. He should have been let go last season to free up space in the midfield, to buy people in. How can we buy midfielders in when we have no free space? Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita and James Milner are 3 players that's taken up space in our midfield. Now, everyone keeps moaning that James Milner plays week in, week out. Shouldn't be keeping relying on James Milner. Right? He shouldn't even be at the football club. But where was all these people when Milner signed his contract extension? Yeah? Signed a contract extension. You can't buy another midfielder if they've got no room in the match day squad for another midfielder. It's as simple as that. If you're keeping your Milners around, if you're keeping your Oxes around, if you're keeping your Caters around, how are you meant to buy anyone else to put into midfield? There's no room. You're not selling Thiago, are you? You're not selling Fabinho. Henderson ain't going anywhere. So that's 3 there. You got Harvey Elliott and Carvalho. That's 5, yeah? That's 5 midfielders. Then you got Ox, Milner, and Keita. That's 8 midfielders. You got no room to buy any more midfielders. So you got to get rid of a few. You got to be more. You got to be harder. You got to be harder. Yes, I like compassion. I appreciate compassion in the game. Without compassion, sport is dead. No, saying that, without compassion in life general, what is the point? You need compassion. And I'm all right with compassion. But at the end of the day, the Ox hasn't been fit for 4 years. He's not been fit for 4 years. What are we waiting for? Literally, what are we waiting for? Should be gone. Just terminate his contract. He doesn't have to be sold. Just terminate his contract. Just let him go. Naby Keita has been injured for 4 years. Let him go. And James Milner should not have had his contract renewed, in my opinion. He's 37 years old. He's given us nothing. This is the highest end of football we play today. This is the elite level of football we play today. And James Milner looked so old in this game. This is the oldest I've seen James Milner look. He looks ancient. He looks proper old. And James Milner shouldn't be in the team. I've never looked at James Milner like I did tonight, and he just looked old. You got to get him out. You got to get him out, and you got to get new ones in. But you can't do that if the manager wants to keep them. Now, I'm not saying FSG are in the right either. FSG needs to go to Klopp. You know what, Jurgen, we love you. You're our manager, but we're taking over here a bit, and we don't think these three need to be in our team anymore. We're going to change it up and get you these players instead. We're going to change it up and get these players instead. Because we love you, Klopp, we love you, Jurgen, but we just feel we just need a bit of a change up, and there you go. FSG just been a bit more ruthless. But as I keep saying, FSG don't know anything about football. So when they ask Jurgen, what do you need? And he says, this, and this, and we need a midfielder. We were going for Tchouaméni. Jurgen Klopp even admitted it in a press conference. He just chose Real Madrid. But why have we not got a plan B? You cannot tell me that Artemelo was plan B because he weren't, because he was a deadline last-minute signing. That's not a plan B signing. You're telling me there's all these midfielders around that have gone here, there, and there. You're telling me Matheus Nunes wouldn't have been good enough to play for Liverpool tonight? You're honestly telling me Matheus Nunes, who went to Wolverhampton Wanderers, wouldn't have been good enough to play for Liverpool Football Club tonight? Let's stop it. Let's stop it right now. They're all in the wrong. All of them. There's no picking sides. There's no picking sides. They're all in the wrong. Every single one of them. FSG in the wrong. The transfer committee. Jurgen Klopp. Pep Linders. Deborah and Canteen. Whoever it is, they're all in the wrong. Everybody is in the wrong right now. The whole club. There is no, right, he's got to go, he's got to go. It's all FSG's fault because they don't give Klopp money. We've got money. We've got players in this team. We have players in this team. I mean, look at the substitutions, Artemelo and Thiago. Yeah, they're not fit. What I don't get is Klopp said today they're not fit enough to play, right? They're not fit enough to play. So why are they on the subs bench? If they're not fit enough and they're not ready, why are they even on the subs bench? Because all that makes fans like us think is, well, Thiago's on the bench. Why ain't he on yet? Why ain't he on yet? Because if they're not ready to play, they shouldn't be on the bench. Because what it does, it gives all us fan base, me, whoever, especially YouTube creators, all that sort of stuff, when they come and question it, go, well, if they ain't ready, why is he on the bench? If he ain't ready, why is he on the bench? Now, if you're asking me, Artemelo, all right, he didn't have a pre-season, but he's fit at the moment. He's fit. Klopp said he's fit. He's just not match fit. Well, James Milner hasn't been match fit for 2 years, but he still plays him. James Milner hasn't been match fit for 2 years, but he's still playing. You're telling me that Artemelo or Thiago wouldn't have gave you a more solid, structured, better performance today than James Milner in midfield? Is that what we're saying here? Is that literally what we're saying here? James Milner wouldn't have gave us a better. Do you know what's going to happen though, don't you? You know what's going to happen. People are going to start going, oh crap! Look how bad we look when Jordan Henderson ain't in the midfield. That's what's going to happen. And then Jordan Henderson will come back in 3 weeks' time. Jordan Henderson will come back in 3 weeks' time on his white horse with his hair flowing in the wind as the sun beams on his head, and the hero is here. And Jurgen Klopp can just whack him back in the midfield and go, look, I told you all. Look how crap we are when Jordan ain't in my midfield. Look how crap we are when Jordan ain't in my midfield. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I can tell you right now, that is what's happening. They're all to blame right now. There's no, there's too many people. I love Jurgen Klopp, and this ain't me wanting. I've put in the thing, should Jurgen Klopp leave? Should Jurgen Klopp leave this football club? Should Jurgen Klopp leave this football club? Because I'm coming to the thing now where I'm like, do I want him to leave? I'm not sure. I'm 50-50 on it right now. I really am. I am 50-50 on it. And it's not because I think he's terrible and I want him to go. I'm thinking that if he doesn't think he can get the best out of a team anymore, then it is best to leave. Just for your own sanity. Just for your own sanity. If you don't think you can do it, or you're struggling and you don't know what to do, if them things are crossing in your mind, if you're sitting at home and in your mind you're like, I don't know what to do, I really don't know how to get us out of this, then if you're thinking that, then you might need to leave, because it's just going to stress you out and stress you out and stress you out and make you ill. And I don't want that for Jurgen Klopp. You know, I don't want that for Jurgen Klopp. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So I'm not like Klopp out, Klopp out, Klopp. That's not really what I'm saying. I mean, I've been saying it a bit on Twitter and all that, but I don't mean it as a, right, I want Klopp gone, because you don't get enough. Big up, Rods. I'll get you in a minute, mate. Yeah, no worries, Rods. So I don't want Klopp out. I literally don't. On Twitter, it's hard to... I'm not great with words. So when I write things on Twitter, I write things really short and quick. And I don't really mean like... It sounds, what I'm saying on Twitter might sound like a bit harsh, but it's not what I'm saying. I'm better verbally. I'm better talking it. That's why I do this. And it's just... I haven't looked at the chat yet, so I don't know what you guys are saying. I've not even looked at the chat. I'm just trying to say this from the bottom of my heart, really. Like, with Milner, yeah, I was for Milner getting his contract extension. I admit it. I was for Milner to get his contract extension. But I can be wrong. You know what I mean? I can go back in it now and look and go, do you know what, Jamie? Maybe you were wrong thinking that. Maybe I was wrong thinking that. Because Milner looked proper old today, and I've never watched a Milner performance like I did today. And don't forget, we're playing at the elite level here. This is Champions League football, and I'm looking at him thinking, he looks proper old. He does look proper old. So even I can get it wrong. You know, I'm not special. I can get it wrong. Klopp can get it wrong. Klopp's not special. He's just a human being who's in charge of our football club. He can get things wrong. At the moment, he's getting a lot of things wrong. My other thing with the formation today, we're playing 4-3-3 when our players can't play 4-3-3. We're struggling to play 4-3-3. We have been outrun in every game we've played this season, including tonight. And we got outrun against Bournemouth, but we beat them 9-0. That's a mad stat right there. We got outrun by Bournemouth, but we won that game 9-0. Mad stat. We can't move at the moment. We can't run. So we can't play. We can't play this 4-3-3 at the moment that Jurgen wants to play. Jurgen spoke on the TV after the game to BT Sport. And he was saying, like, the only one who gave any kind of presence and pressed on the ball or off the ball was Thiago when he came on. And that is true, because as I keep saying, Thiago's our best defender. Thiago's always been our best defender. He's our best defender in midfield. And I'm sorry, guys, there's 81 of you in the chat, and I'm rambling on, but I just need to get this off my chest, and then I'll get to everyone in the chat. What I've done, I'm not on my chat set. I've not got no comments up at the moment. I can see I've got like, I can see on my right-hand side, I can see I've got comments, banners, brand, and private chat. And I can see like there's like 100 and something comments in the red. So I know everyone's commenting. I will get to your comments in a minute, but it distracts me from what I'm trying to say, and I just want to get it out. So big up to everyone. Thank you for hanging on. It's problems. There's issues. We can't play 4-3-3 at the moment. We just can't play 4-3-3 at the moment because we haven't got the legs. The legs are gone. Fabinho today. Oh, my God, Fabinho. Did everyone watch him stand still for their second goal? He couldn't move. He just stood still. He couldn't move. He's got no mobility. I've been saying this since the end of last season and into pre-season. He's got no mobility. By the way, when I said about pre-season, I'm really worried about this season, and everyone told me, Jamie, calm down, it's only pre-season. I was right. We didn't play any first teamers in pre-season. We just played all the kids. And then the kids don't play in the squad. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. The lineup today made no sense. You're playing 4-3-3. Bobby's playing again. Bobby should have played Bobby should have played on the weekend against Everton, and Darwin should have started today, or Jota should have started today. Not Bobby. It was a weird one that makes no sense to me. Salah is dead. The man can't run. The man ain't got that explosive movement that he used to anymore. There is no explosiveness no more from Mo. Just none. Diaz has got explosiveness because he's not been worn out by this team yet, because he's only been here a few months. Harvey Elliott's a young kid, so he's got explosiveness. He's not been worn out yet. That's why he looks decent. Fabinho can't move. No mobility. People walked past him today in midfield. Osherman, right, had deep lining positions, yeah? Osherman weren't playing on the shoulder of Van Dijk or Gomez. He was playing deep. His runs came from deep. Guess who should have been there stopping him making them deep runs? That's right. Your defensive midfielder. But where was Fabinho? Osherman was playing deep, yeah? He weren't playing on the line. He weren't playing on the shoulder. He was making deep runs. So the centre-backs couldn't pick him up because they got no one to mark because he's playing deep. He ain't playing off them. And he's got lightning pace and he went past them all with ease. So guess who should be trying to pick him up and just, sitting on him, tackling him, fouling him, making his life a nuisance? That's right, our defensive midfielder. That's who. But he can't because he hasn't got the movement and mobility now. He hasn't got the mobility to do it. He should have been standing on Osherman. Should have been standing on him, fouling him. There was an incident today in the game as well. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Polish midfielder. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to say it. The Polish midfielder, right? He walked. He came up to Fabinho, right? And Fabinho went like that, and let him go past him. And I threw my remote at my telly. It's lucky I didn't hit the telly. Fabinho literally went like that. Oh, yeah, go on, son, you go past me. And let him run. I was like, oh, Fabinho's going to do a tactical foul now, ain't he? And just bring him down and get back in position. No, he let him run. He just went like that. Here you go on, fella. Go on. You better go, mate. Go on, quick. So I was like, what am I watching? What am I watching? We make no fouls. This team makes no tactical fouls whatsoever. We are the nicest team to play in the world. We are so nice. Oh, you want to make a tactical foul? No. We'll do this. You go on, son. Go on. Make a run. Go on. I'm sick of it. We are so easy to play against. We make zero tactical fouls. Zero. Did we even make a foul today? Apart from the penalty from Van Dijk. That was a bit iffy. But that was about it. We don't foul. Fabinho don't foul anyone. Firstly, do you know why he can't foul anyone and make a tactical foul? Because he ain't got the pace to do it. He can't reach them to pull a shirt because they've already walked past him. Useless. Gone. Finished. Get him out the team. Why is he playing 90 minutes when we're losing 4-1? Why is Fabinho still playing? Why is he still on a pitch when you're losing 4-1? Why? What is the point? What is he giving you? Apart from nothing. He's got no pace. He's got no mobility. He can't even foul anyone. Can't even foul anyone. I've been saying this for ages now about Fabinho. And do you know what? I was probably the first one around on YouTube who said it about Fabinho. And then everyone else is now cottoning on. I love the player. But at the moment, he's got no mobility. His legs are gone. He's tired because Klopp's overused him. He's overworked him. He's been so used. Fabinho is a prostitute. That is what Fabinho is. Fabinho is a prostitute. He's been used and wrung out to dry more times than a hooker on King's Cross. I'll tell you that right now. That is what Fabinho is. He's a hooker. The man's been used and abused and wrung out to dry, and now he's got nothing left. He's got literally nothing left. He's doing jobs for a tenner. That is what Fabinho's doing now. The man is doing jobs for a tenner. That is what Fabinho's doing. The man's gone. The man's done. He's literally done. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Can we just make Trent a midfielder and get done with it? Can we literally just make Trent a midfielder and have done with it? Because Trent doesn't want to play right back. As far as I'm concerned, what I'm watching right now, Trent doesn't want to play right back. He has no intentions of playing right back. Did you see him walk back for their third goal? Did you see him walk? No, Jesus Christ. He walked, no effort. He doesn't want to defend. He doesn't want to be a right back. If he doesn't want to be a right back, put him in midfield because he's a good passer of the football. And the most of the game he spent in midfield anyway. Most of the game he was... Harvey Elliott played right back more than Trent Alexander-Arnold did today. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for everybody. Harvey Elliott played right back more than Trent today. Just let Trent be a midfielder, Klopp. Just put Trent in midfield. Just put Trent in midfield because that's where Trent wants to play. Experiment with it because what else have we got to lose right now? Trent can retain possession. Trent can keep the ball. You know, just do that. Just put Trent in midfield. Experiment. We've got nothing else. Klopp knows by his interview tonight, he knows the midfield's dead. He knows the midfield is gone. Game over. And my problem with it all tonight is if Klopp knows that, why is he still playing 4-3-3? Why? We got personnel in this side that can play 4-2-3-1. Just try it. What else have we got? Play Fabinho and Thiago as a pivot. Play Carvalho in the 10. Play Darwin Núñez in front of him. And play two wide players. Just give it a go because nothing else is working. The 4-3-3 isn't working. It's a finished thing. It's put, done, put away. It's not working at the moment because the players are not working. And our new style of football is making me go nuts. So our new style of football is this, yeah? Our fullbacks are now inverted, yeah? So they underlap instead of overlapping. They all undercut, yeah? They undercut. So instead of Robbo overlapping Diaz, he goes inside of Diaz and in front of him, yeah? Taking up Diaz's space. Trent don't overlap. Trent underlaps. He goes in front of Salah, taking up Salah's space. So that way, Salah has to stay really wide. Diaz has to stay really wide. And then when people break, because we can't win the second ball back anymore. When was the last time we won the second ball back? We can't win the second ball back at all. We can't win the second ball back. So when you can't win the second ball back, because Robbo and Trent have come inverted, instead of overlapping, they came inverted, you've left so much space in behind. That is why playing the high line tonight was done my head in. Because I'm looking at it. Osherman is running from deep. He's picking up deep positions and running from deep because of his pace. Yeah, he doesn't have to play on the line or on the shoulder of the centre-backs. Fabinho hasn't got the mobility to stay with him. Because to be fair, when Osherman's playing that deep, he's starting position that deep. Fabinho should be on him. But Fabinho hasn't got the mobility to do it. So Van Dijk and Gomez are in all sorts of trouble because they're getting annihilated by this high line. Because Osherman is quick. The Georgian, that player from Georgia, I can't pronounce his name, is an extremely talented, clever footballer who's extremely good with the ball. They're all too good for him. They're in trouble. They're begging the team. They're begging Klopp. Let's go deeper. Let's just play a little bit deep and try and take the sting out of this game a little bit, because all we're doing is making it easy, really easy. And I watched it today, and I just couldn't believe we were playing so high still. It was 2-0 and like still playing really high. I'm like, just drop back. You're annihilating Gomez here. You're annihilating Virgil. They're getting annihilated because of this high line. They've got no cover. Fabinho hasn't got the mobility to help. Harvey Elliott's a 19-year-old lad. He shouldn't be going backwards and helping. He should have freedom. There's no control. We have no midfield control. To play the 4-3-3 we want to play, you need midfield control. You really do. And we have no midfield control at this moment in time. Klopp knows we have no midfield control at this moment in time. So change it up. And just change it up. Just change it up. Play a different formation, or play the same formation, but maybe play a little bit more defensive, go a little bit deeper. Just acknowledge that Napoli are a very good side. I think we're too arrogant. And I think that arrogance goes all the way through the club right now. I think that arrogance goes through the whole club right now, from top to bottom. And I think we're too arrogant. Napoli were the better team. They were playing outstanding football. Good movement, quick pace. Everything's 1-2, touch and go. We couldn't live with it. And our arrogance was like, no, we'll carry on playing this high line. We'll carry on because somehow we'll get back into this game. Sometimes you've got to go, you know what? This team are bloody good. We're in their own ground. We're in their backyard. And this team's bloody good. Maybe we just got to go, you know what? White flag. Let's all drop back a little bit. Let's try and take the sting out of this game. Defend it out a little bit. I don't know what to say. I'm going to open up the chat now. I'm going to go have a look at the comments, because I've been going on for half hour and I've got to look at your comments. If my usual crew are about, the DM is in the link is in the DMs. So Savage, Steve, Stubbsy, Cav, Rods, Jack, everyone who's about and is in our Twitter DM. The link is in the DM. Go and hit that link and come in, guys, because I need you all to come in as well and have a chat. Big up Pablo. Jamie has been saying since last season we don't want to give Salah that much money, and he called this. Big up Pablo. I wish I didn't though. Raventi, we are the arrogance. I know it's mad. Pablo also says, I've been listening to Jamie for the past 30 minutes, and honestly, mate, you've said not one thing wrong. Everything is facts. Big up Pablo. Nicholas, how you doing? I said 6 weeks ago that we had so many good defenders that we could play Tread in midfield. It'd be really good. Yeah, exactly. I've got Cav in the green room. 1 minute, Cav. Was a concern about Nunes before we signed him. Now my concerns have been confirmed. See, with the Nunes thing, I'm going to give Nunes a season, because I remember when Didier Drogba came from Marseille to Chelsea in his first season, and he was atrocious. He couldn't touch a ball. He couldn't control a ball. He scored goals, yeah, but his gameplay looked terrible. And then obviously he became like one of the best strikers ever in the Premier League. So we've got to give him time. Hate knocking the boys, but tonight was filth. I'm afraid at the moment Trent has fallen into the trap of believing in his own hype. He has. Savage in the house as well. These players need to take accountability. Shite tactics alongside every single goal was an individual mistake. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be as calm as I can, because you ain't in the group, Savage. Why are you in the group? Did you come out of it? It's your group. You made it. I'll send you the link again, Savage. I'll send it individually to you, my friend. Why have you come out of it? You made it. Let me just bring Cav in. Savage is not in his own group, apparently. You're on mute. You're on mute, Cav. It's Savage made this group. You must have pulled out. I've sent it to you now, Savage. It's all down to you, Hugo. Come back in. Come back. Come back. Evening, my man. Evening. Oh, I don't know what's happened to Cav. Let me just kick Cav so he can sort his stuff out. Nunes was crossing the ball because nobody was doing anything. Nunes is starved compared to Haaland. Yeah, the thing with Nunes, we don't play to Nunes' strengths. We don't play to his strengths one bit. I can't remember last time. Nunes likes to run into the channels. I've been saying this. He doesn't want to do hold up play and get involved in the play. He doesn't want to get involved in the play. He just wants to get on the end of things. So he wants to run the channels. And what do? Try and make him play. Try and play with his back to goal and build up play and stuff like that. And that's not Darwin's. It's just not Darwin's game. We're playing a game to Darwin that he don't play. And that's always been my fear. I've been saying this for the last few weeks, Jamie, on Twitter, but Elliot ain't ready for the first team football. He's amazing, but he ain't just ready. He's not an assister and he's not a top goal scorer. Yeah, but he's the only midfielder that's got legs at the moment. I was saying this, Jamie, but people just roast him for his touch and control. He wants the ball in behind and to take a shot. Stop crossing high. Yeah, exactly. He wants to run in behind. But we ain't got the players who can do it. That's the problem. We knew Klopp wasn't going to be playing to Nunes' game, just a waste of money. I think your Nunes and Drogba comparison in terms of adaptability is very apt. Thank you, Edward. I'm saying Drogba, when he joined Chelsea from Marseille, he didn't have the greatest first season. His touch was terrible. He scored goals, but it took him a year to get used to everything and a year to get the way used Chelsea were playing. And then he became a monster. And I'm just hoping that's the same with Darwin. Change to 3 at the back. Yeah. So as I said, I'm not wanting Klopp out. I just think for his own sanity, in the end, it might be better for him to leave. Because if he's saying he doesn't know what to do and change, if that's going in his head at this moment, that's a dangerous place to be if you're thinking that sort of thing. And you've got to question the tactics. You just do. The tactics have to be questioned because you're playing 4-3-3 when players can't play 4-3-3 at the moment. And if this was any other manager, look, Tuchel's got the sack from Chelsea. I've been saying for a long time that Tuchel is a fraud and not as good as everyone raves him out to be. Now, did he deserve to get the sack? That's another thing. But he didn't come away from what he was playing either. And even Chelsea fans are starting to get a bit sick and tired of it. I love Klopp, but no one's perfect. No one's above criticism. Everyone's wrong here. I think the club is a bit arrogant at the moment. The Pep Linda slander. Sorry, boys, I'll get you in 1 sec. The Pep Linda slander does my head in a little bit because he's the coach. He's number 2. And Klopp's the manager. Everyone's saying that this is on Pep. This is Pep. Well, if that is true, then you've got to say it's on Jurgen as well because he's his boss. Jurgen's his boss. And if Jurgen wants him to do this, then Jurgen's giving him the say-so to do it. Pep Linders ain't coaching his team and Klopp's going, no, I don't want you to do that, Pep. I don't want you to do that. But then Pep still does it. Jurgen's the manager. If Pep Linders is coaching his team, Jurgen Klopp is like, I'm all for it. This is what I want Pep to do. That's why he's my number 2. That's why the other geezer's not here anymore. I got rid of Buvac and I brought Pep back because I wanted him to be my number 2. Pep and Buvac never got on. They never like each other. I don't know what's happened to Klopp and Buvac. I mean, that will never be told. But for everyone saying Pep Linders this, Pep Linders that, and the Pep Linders book and all that, if you read the book, there's nothing in there that actually tells anyone Liverpool style of play and how we play. People just know because we've been playing the same style for 7 years. It's not hard to work out. It's not because of Pep's book. All it does is that Pep Linders' book has come out at a time where we're shit. No, it's just bad timing. It's just the worst timing ever. But for everyone to keep going, it's Pep Linders this, Pep Linders that. If Jurgen's listening to him and he's got Jurgen's ear and Jurgen's listening to him and taking in his advice, then you've got to blame Jurgen. He's the manager, the boss. We got to stop protecting him. I love Jurgen Klopp. Savage loves Jurgen Klopp. Cav loves Jurgen Klopp. John loves Jurgen Klopp. Everyone in the chat loves Jurgen Klopp, apart from KO, who we know don't. But everyone loves the man, yeah? But he can get things wrong. He can be criticised. He's not the... We're Liverpool Football Club. I keep saying this. We're Liverpool Football Club. I support Liverpool Football Club. I don't support Jurgen Klopp Football Club. We're going to come to a day when Jurgen Klopp's not around. I'm not going to stop supporting Liverpool because Klopp's gone. You know what I mean? That's just ridiculous. But at the moment, he's wrong. His tactics are wrong. If the coaching's wrong, then you still blame Jurgen because he's the manager. Do you think Alex Ferguson, no matter what... Alex Ferguson always changed his number twos quite frequently, so nothing got stale. So a different kind of coaching came into the club and a different thing. Do you think Alex Ferguson stood there and actually went, yeah, I don't really like what you're saying, fella, so I'm going to go my way? You know, if Klopp's listening to Pep Linders and Pep Linders is saying, I want us to play like this, we're going to play Salah really wide, Diaz really wide, so we get the best out of Darwin Núñez running into the channels, but it's going to take away from Salah's game. And Klopp goes, cool, let's give it a go. Guess whose fault that is? The blame game's got to stop. It's not all FSG. It's not all Jurgen Klopp. It's not all Pep Linders. They're one pie, and everyone's got a quarter of that pie right now. Everyone's got a piece of the pie. Every single one of them. It's not, I've got a pie here, and half that pie is with FSG, and the little slivers with everyone else. No. They're all the same pie, and for me, each one of them has got a slice at the moment, because they're all getting it wrong. All of them, from top to bottom. Simple as that. Now, I've ranted for 45 minutes now, and I need a little breather. So I'm going to let Savage take over, then go to Cav, then go to John. Savage, my man.
What's going on, man? Boys, I'll keep the first bit brief on it, and then we'll come back around on it. But I think you're right. I think I'm kind of done with everyone acting childish and immature about stuff now. Like we come together, we support the boys. Shouldn't be turning our back on them and stuff like that, because clearly something's going on in it. And for me, bro, if everyone's going to celebrate with them when they're winning trophies and that, then you got to get behind them while this is going on. Now, today's particular game was a shambles. Problem that I have more than anything is it's the same stuff, and I'm not even on about going forward and scoring the goals, because we know where that's stale. I try not to just rant stuff off the top of my head and then not have any evidence behind it or anything like that. But I did the video 3 weeks ago. A few people on. I brought photo evidence and video evidence of all the things what were wrong. Just this season, by the way. I used a couple of from before against Man City, but I used just this season, so I wasn't acting, you know what I mean? It wasn't too reactive. I had a wide range of stuff. Now, all their goals that were scored against us tonight were individual mistakes. You can argue that, like, fair enough, like the penalty, whatever, in it, shit happens. It's a penalty, whatever. The penalty what got given away by Van Dijk. I know Osterman put his foot down just as he stood on it and that, but it's still a foul. Almost a carbon copy of the Mitrovic penalty. The 1-2. It's the same goal that Ishak scored for Newcastle. Fab stepped forward, played the 1-2. None of the defenders ran with him. Trent and Gomez just watched him. I played about 7 different clips the other day of Trent just watching the ball, and he just watched the ball again. And then there was that part in the midfield where it didn't lead to a goal, but I can't remember what geezer it was. But I watched Fab try to tackle him, and it didn't work. And then he went back in for another bite at it, and it didn't work again. And I told man about this guy's balance. I've been saying this. I said it with the utmost respect, because I love the guy. But I told everybody, like, when I'm watching him run back, when someone's on a break. It's just pointless. Him and Trent on the pitch together is the most pointless thing now. Everyone, like I said the same thing. The Milner contract when it came in, I was fine with it. I assumed, and obviously I couldn't foresee the injuries we got first of all, but I just assumed that he signs another contract and he does what he was been doing before, where there's 10 minutes or 15 minutes left of the game and Milner comes on to see the game out. But clearly everyone's got injured and he plays. Now, no point in everyone going against Milner, like everyone can make their little jokes and that, but he don't put himself on the pitch. I'm pretty sure he's probably shocked that he's getting so much game time himself. So he's doing the best he can for the club. It's actually painful for me to watch somebody trying to put so much energy into something. It's just not working. I watched Fernandinho do it for Man City, and every now and again you just watch and you're like, it's done, bro. Like it's not going to work. I watched that game against Real Madrid. Vinicius just stepped over the ball and ran past him, and he was left at the halfway line while Vinicius putting the ball in the net. It was over then. Milner, I said at the beginning of the season, when it comes to the cup games, the League Cup, FA Cup and stuff, when you need a spine of experience, and you're going to play Kelleher and play Milner and then maybe Bobby, that's use them there. And then as the tie goes on and it gets more serious, you start adding in more players and stuff. But the same mistakes. I mean, if Gomez is going to play, and to be fair to him, the last game he played, he wasn't that bad. He's probably one of the better players. But if Gomez is going to play now, I think the injuries has had its toll on him. I don't think he's going to make it back from them injuries. I just don't think it's going to happen. If he's not going to play to cover Trent at right back, which is where he was actually good last season, then he can't play. I'm sorry. I love the guy. You just can't play. If Trent doesn't want to play at right back, because I'm not going to do this assumption thing and say, you know what I mean? There's a few things with body language, but every now and again, the camera can pick it up when he's not looking and it looks like he's doing whatever. So I'm not going to go at him like that. I'm not going to say he thinks he's better than everyone and all this business. But what I can say with evidence, which is not me making stuff up, I can see him walking back. I can see him not running for the ball. If you don't want to play at right back, go on the bench on it. Because everyone's saying this midfield business. Do you want the same thing to happen in midfield? And then somebody just walk past him and Fab? Because that's it. That's even worse. That's just a whole gaping hole for everyone to just go through and have a free shot. It's a shambles. And then Salah, you need to fix up, bro. I don't really care. Everyone start making excuses for all of these, not telling me that they're tired and ran into a ground and all that. Their job is to play football. It's all they have to do day in, day out. It's all they have to do. I've run more than that Power League, and I have about 3 different businesses to run. I have a kid, a dog, a wife. I've got stuff to do, bro. Stop everyone making run him into the ground. What are you talking about? The season finished. They went on holiday. Then they had a pre-season. What happened when everyone else is all of you lot here? Did all you lot go on holiday? This kids had a holiday. Did you go on holiday? Was you on the beach flexing your muscles, doing little TikTok videos and that? No, you wasn't. You was on here rafting. Bruv, it's their job. I'm not going to feel sorry for millionaires who decide not to run. If something goes wrong on the football pitch, it just goes wrong, innit? It's simple. But if you're not putting your effort in, I've seen at least 3 games this season where my problem was the effort. Man U game, no effort. Fulham game, no effort. And I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. All of you go back and watch all the clips of all the games this season. Just take all the Prem games and go watch all the goals and tell me if they're not similar in every single way. I can tell you all the goals, bro. The Trent back post goal, Mitrovic, the penalty, Van Dijk today, same penalty. The ball in through the high line, Rashford, Zaha, same. Bro, these are all the same goals. Only Bournemouth didn't score because the shit. Let's not count Bournemouth. 9-0. Yeah. We scored in the last minute against Newcastle, was amazing. Ishak goal, same as tonight's goal. They're all the same goals, bro. And again, the team scored against us first. Of course they did. You might as well start putting your bets on people. Make money while you're sad about Liverpool, bro. Because it's going to happen.
Let me, I just want to show this quick so I don't get a copyright claim. But it is on Twitter, so I'll do it quick. This is the goal to, like, look, hang on. Watch this defending.
It's the 1-2, I know it is. And it's
look at this. Watch Gomez. And Fabinho and Trent. Look, it's just that there's no mobility there, especially with Fabinho. I've been saying it. I said it last season. I said it this season. I love Fabinho. Osherman was playing deep today, and as I kept saying, he's making really deep runs, so the centre backs can't pick him up. Fabinho should have been on him all night. He should have been kicking him. Did everyone watch when Fabinho just let someone go past him when he went like that? On your way, like that. On your way. Go on, son. And then I thought, he's just going to do a tactical foul now and pull his shirt back like he's pranking him. But he let him go.
What's the excuse for Trent's mobility?
Trent's a lazy motherfucker. That's what Trent is.
He's 23.
Trent is
you know what? No excuse for his mobility because it's a flipping choice, bro. Gomez has had about 50 injuries, and Fabinho's getting on. Yeah. What's his excuse, bro?
If Trent weren't a footballer, I'm guaranteeing you right now, he'd be in bed till about 1 o'clock every afternoon.
It's all a choice,
you know, wank tissues at the end of the bed, and that's it. That is it. That is it. Yeah. Trent.
Jay, just before I move on, because let everyone else speak here.
Yeah.
But I just
ask a question. It's one question.
Rod, you can have the whole thing. I just want to say this. This is 2018, yeah. This is the Liverpool lineup against the same flipping team, bro. And I'll tell you who's missing from the team. Only who's missing from the team is Mane and Wijnaldum. That's it. Everyone else is the same person. There you go. That's the problem. Let's carry on.
They've grown old together, ain't they?
This is 2018, 4 years ago. Same thing, bro. Same team, bro.
Let's go in order of video. Let's go Johnny, and then we'll go Rods, and then we'll go Kev. Go on, John. Oh, Rods is making his pizza delivery call.
1 minute.
Rods, turn it on mute, man.
Rods is going to get caught on Pornhub one day. I'm telling you, bro. He never turns the mic off, bro.
John, go for it.
That game was an absolute shambles tonight. Absolute shambles. Them players need to hang their head in shame. Literally hang their head in shame. I'm starting to wonder where some of them players starting to down tools. Because this is not the same team from last season. This is not the same team that went for a quadruple. Something is seriously wrong inside that team, in the background. I'm starting to worry. I don't want to clap out. I'm not clap out whatsoever.
No one here is. No.
Never. But I'm starting to wonder where could Clapp maybe walk? Because I don't know if any of you seen his post-match interview, but that guy looks done. He looks fed up. I worry
he won't walk. A quick response to that.
I think he's quite a loyal person. I need
his experience worse.
That's what I mean. His loyalty to the club. He may go right. If I'm the problem and we can't pick up performances, then he will walk for the good of the club.
He needs to reinvent. He needs to reinvent.
I think he wouldn't walk any other time, but if he felt like it was his fault, like everything was his fault, and the club couldn't move on, he would just do it for the club.
Because as I say, big up to Anna anyway, who super chatted earlier. So big up to you, Anna. Thank you very much. Jamie, that's the most sense I've heard all night. You know, I tried to rant today. Everyone should be proud of me. I didn't shout. I came on. I was quite calm. Cav told me to chill on Twitter. You know, I was just.
I said, I let the people know. Jamie messaged me saying, I'm going live at 11. I said, Jay, just take a breath before you go on.
So, yeah, I came on and just, you know, I don't think I said too much wrong, to be fair. I think I put it, but it's all up to debate, ain't it? There's just, I don't know what it is. Cav, you go now, mate.
I'm not sure what your guys' like overriding feeling was in that game, but like when that first goal went in, I'm not sure if it was because it was so early on, but I didn't even get angry at it. Like I'm usually raging when we concede goals, right? And I'm jumping off the surface. I was just flat today, and I think it's because I kind of expected it. Like I know in my prediction I said 1-0 to Liverpool, but like let's be real, we're all like hate to bet against our own team, and like we're a little bit biased. But when I applied logic to the game, seeing how well Napoli were playing and just seeing our flaws, and not only seeing our flaws, seeing that for weeks we've not actively tried to address them flaws. I was just, when that first goal went in, I was just a bit flat. I was deflated. And then that changed when we got to half time and we conceded that goal straight after half time to just laughing. I was just laughing. I couldn't get emotional about it because I'm just not used to it, but I don't know what it is with this team. There's so much going wrong that you can't be annoyed at one thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't put your finger on one thing and be frustrated at it, because you just think, like, someone misplaces a pass, you go, oh, that's crap. But then you go, yeah, but in fairness, like, look, the forward he's trying to pass it into, like, they just don't understand each other's game yet. And then you go, well, why don't they understand each other's game? Is it the tactics? And then, like, the laziness. It's just so much to think about when you try to think about what's going wrong. And it's just like, it is a bit disheartening, you know, and it's, I tell you what, I did feel one emotion actually is I felt when I was watching that game, and I tweeted just white flags, because I was like, I'm watching like my idols just being taken to the cleaners. Like, I'm watching Virgil, the man that I've seen for the past few years be the best centre back this club's probably ever had, if certainly not in the Premier League era. And it's just like, I feel like he's just being beaten up.
He can't sprint. When was the last time Virgil sprinted?
It's just upsetting. It's upsetting, like, and I feel more upset for like the likes of Virgil and stuff, because like they're coming towards the end of their careers, whereas I don't feel upset towards Trent, because I think his attitude's poor and he's got years ahead of him. But it's disheartening, man, seeing this team just waste.
And before you go, Rod, there's just one thing I want to say. Everyone that keeps saying we miss Mane, right? Mane.
Get over that, man.
Can I just say that?
Get over your ex, man.
Diaz is doing what Mane did. Diaz is doing what Mane did. Look what Diaz did tonight, yeah? What Diaz did tonight, Mane would have done. Diaz is literally doing what Mane did. So
Diaz has done that 3 times this season, by the way.
We're not missing Mane. Mane ain't the issue.
The
issue. The issue is that
shit.
We're playing a formation that don't work at the moment. When a formation don't work and the players you're trying to put in a 4-3-3 don't work, you've got to change it. After 30 minutes and you're 2-0 down, and you can see that Virgil and Gomez need help, and we're continuing playing with this high line. You know, there is nothing wrong in just accepting that the opponents you're playing are better, and you just going to have to take the sting out of this game and drop back a bit. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But we don't do that, because I do think we're a bit arrogant. And we think, we can come back into this. We've got to keep playing the way we are, and we come back into it. Just drop back a little bit. Everyone go back 5 yards. Everyone drop back a bit, because they love space. Osherman loves space. You know, if you're 5 yards back, Osherman can't make them deep runs. He's making them deep runs, one, because Fabinho can't stand on him because he's slow, and he's got the pace to beat Van Dijk. This is the first game as well, which worries me, before I let Rods go. This is the first game I've seen as well that worries me, that strikers targeted Virgil. I've never seen that. And this is the first game where I watched someone today go, shit, he's actually targeting Virgil more than Joey G. That's
not even just targeting, Jay. I feel like across the board, like the Napoli players didn't care that we were Liverpool. No. They didn't care that it was Virgil or it was Fabinho, who was once the best 6 in the world. They don't care. Like, they're coming, they're going there to win. Like, they'll breeze past you. They'll bully you if they have to.
They are riding high on confidence. I've been trying to talk, because obviously everyone doesn't watch the Italian league. And that,
Napoli are flying. They won 5 out of 6, I think, didn't they?
And like, that sounds good, but if you watch the performances,
they're football.
They're playing like how Atalanta was playing last season, just blowing people away. So
go on, Rod.
Only Alisson done what Jamie said, trying to take the sting out of the game. I've seen a few times the ball came back to Ali, and instead of him doing his quick pass normally,
he's slowing it down, isn't he?
And then as soon as he passed it, everyone tried to do the running thing again, rapid. But
that's because what they're used to. That's what they've done for 7 years. You know, it's like your kids, right? When you have a kid, when you're a parent, you have a kid, yeah. Your kid is you, smaller, right? You're teaching everything your kid's learning, yeah. So they grow up to be, when they're older, a mature adult and a good person, right? So they're learning from you as a parent. If you teach them bad, that kid's going to grow up bad, and they can't change their ways. It's because it's inbred in you early on. And in Klopp's system and the way Klopp's playing with these players that have been together so long now, I think they only know one way. They don't know how to change it because they've been together for so long. That's why I think we need a change everywhere over the football club.
Do you think, I know Rod's going to speak on it, but do you think, because when I always try and listen to Klopp's interviews after the game, and to be fair, when he was speaking today, and he said, "Listen, I need time to." He's correct. He does need time to think, because if you keep telling people something and you're doing this on the training ground, and you get to the match and they're not this, I'm almost thinking like what you said's right. They are all conditioned to play a certain way, and this season Klopp's trying to tell them to play a different way, and I think they just keep reverting back to type. I don't even, because I'm wondering, why does Klopp look so confused? He looks very confident when we're coming out. When you see them in training, everything looks very confident. The game starts, he looks confident, and then something goes wrong, and then everyone just reverts back to type, and it's almost like, "Yeah, boy, do you not hear what I told you in training? Like we're not playing like that anymore. We're doing something different." And they just revert back to type, and then it ends up a bit silly. It's really like it's kind of like, it reminds me of watching Undertaker at Crown Jewel, bro. That's what it reminds me of, bro. It's done. No, it's just
I get that reference. I understand the reference.
Yeah, it's just absolutely killing me inside, man. It's horrible. Bro, he's making me. I don't want to watch Milner look like he's breaking down and that. Bro.
Did Milner look proper old today, though? Like proper old. That was the first game. I'm like,
what was the last game we played?
He looked proper old.
What was the last game
this season, ain't he?
Did we draw the last game? Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know when he brought him on for Trent in the last game against Everton. That's when it was done. Because if you watch that 10 minutes before he actually went to he was coming up right back, and then he went to centre mid. When he was on at right back, that was bro. I watched Gordon and Damari just kept playing. We had a corner and they would break, and Milner would try and chop them, and then they'd just run past him, and we got him and Fabinho doing the same thing. They can't catch him, and obviously, all I thought today is this geezer's going to get sent off before half time, and it's already. I was waiting for him to get. He should have been sent off, to be fair, because once he was on a yellow card, he made 3 like pretty bad tackles, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But
go on, Rods.
Where do I start? What's the point in having a high line if you're not pressing?
Exactly.
What's the point? There's no point in having a high line if you're not pressing. There's been a demise with this team, and it's been going on for quite a while now. And it reminds me of like Rafa Benitez's last days, and I think that. Do you remember when he played in that Champions League game with Leon, and it was a group stage and everything that, and we actually scored first and everything that, then we got taken apart. Our defense was everywhere. Yeah, it reminds you of those days again. I don't know what Gomez is doing tonight. He was not playing football. He was not getting put. He was getting dragged about everywhere. He didn't know whether he's coming or whether he's going or whatever. And for a person that's been in that squad for such a long time, that was poor. Do you know what I mean? Virgil van Dijk and everything that I've been saying about his lackadaisy defending. He defends at the last minute. He's got an aura about him, and he thinks that, and then, well, look, I'm Virgil van Dijk, and nothing can get past me. So he gives people like a 5 or 10 yard start against him, and I think, all right, then, you know what, I'll defend at the last minute. It doesn't work. You got away with one the other day with Everton. You got away with one. Do you know what I mean? Because by rights, when you think about it, when you look at that sort of like tackle he done, most referees would have given him a red card. They would have given a red card, and I think that's he got away with one with that one. Do you know what I mean? Then they're starting Milner in midfield. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, Milner does not start games. He does not start games. Now, if that's the best we got in the thing, that right? I'm sorry, but we're fucked. If that's the best we got, because they took the piss out of Milner tonight. They took the piss out of him. Flacco, he needs to fix up his attitude. He needs to fix up his attitude and everything that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so many times in the day I've seen him let players just go past him, and he's not going back to get the ball. You know what I mean? He's not going back to get Trent. Well, we all know about Trent and everything that. Do you know what I mean? He needs to fix up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mo Salah, I said it before. He needs to do something different with his game. He needs to do something different in the game, because what I noticed is Mo Salah and everything. If he tries something and it doesn't work and everything that, he gives up. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it and everything that. I know what everybody's saying about Mane and everything that. You know, obviously let it go and everything that. You know what I mean? But with Mane and everything that, right, Mane would always try different things on the pitch in order to get in and get into the game. If you beat him on one side, he'll go on the other side. If you beat him on that side, he'll go in the middle. He'll just do try different things and everything that. Salah needs to take a leaf out of Mane's book, because what he's doing at the moment now is just so predictable. I could even predict it. You know what I mean? I can predict it. I know exactly what Salah's going to do and everything now. Now, I'm not being funny. Klopp has picked that team. Klopp has picked that team and everything that. So Klopp has to shed some responsibility and everything that. I'm not a Klopp out person, but I'm very close to it. I am very close to it from that, because so many times I see Klopp making the same mistake all the time, and he's not willing to change. And if he's not willing to change, if he picks a team and him and his coaching staff do the tactics and everything that, it's down to him. It's not FSG, it's down to him. He needs to take responsibility on what's going on that pitch. Do you know what I mean? I know you put some players on a pitch and everything that, and you can say, and I can't play the game for you, but you're picking the players, and you're picking the tactics that you feel at the end of the day that's going to beat a team. If you're not judging on tonight and everything, judging on tonight's game tonight, do you really think we can go and beat Wolves on Saturday? Do you think we can beat Wolves on Saturday or Sunday when we're playing? Do you think we can beat Wolves?
I can't. All Wolves that's Liverpool like, isn't it?
Yeah, but all Wolves are doing now, they're rubbing their hands and everything that goes, we know exactly how to play you, Liverpool. We know exactly how to play you. All they're going to do.
So hard to score against as well, Wolves.
Yeah, exactly. All they're going to do, because of what he did, and remember last season, he took a Divock Origi goal right towards the end for us to beat them, wasn't it? That one? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then we played them on the last game of the season as well, and it took us ages to score.
Yeah, and they score. All Wolves are going to do is sit back and pick out the spaces that that's behind Van Dijk, that's behind Trent, because they know Trent ain't going to run back. You know Trent ain't going to run. Trent's not even going to look back and everything like that. Something drastic needs to change in that team and everything like that, because it's not going to. By the way we see it and everything like that, we might not even qualify for the Europa Cup. We might not even qualify for the Europa Cup and everything like that. And that's poor. We're becoming now, fast becoming now, banter FC again. Everybody's banting us now and everything like that, because they know exactly how to play us. Arsenal are rubbing their hands and everything like that. Arsenal can't wait to play us, you know. Arsenal cannot wait to play us right now. If you said to Arsenal and for that, you could play Liverpool on Sunday, they'll say, yeah, we'll play you on Sunday. Before they used to be scared of us, they want to play us now. Every team wants to play us down. Now, Klopp at the end of the day has to take a look at himself, a hard look at himself, and a hard look at the team and everything that, right? And change up the team and everything that. Because you know what happens? This is what happens and everything that, right? When there's changes to be made in a club and everything that, right? It's manager first before the owners.
Players don't get sacked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's manager first. You see what happened to Tuchel. Yeah, you see what happened to Tuchel today. It's managers first and everything like that. So he needs to take a hard look at himself and a hard look at his team and everything like that. And he needs to put players on the pitch that's going to get him the victory. Because he should have started with Matip today. And you know what I mean? And like start playing different tactics. 4-2-3-1. Put Fab and put Arta in it as a 2 and everything that, and then you can put whatever you want up front and everything that. If you try it and it doesn't work, at least you tried it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But you ain't trying nothing now. You're just coming on the pitch and everything like that with the same tactics you probably played at the day when it was like 2015 when you come to the club. Well, do you know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good enough. And we as Liverpool supporters and everything like that, we shouldn't be subjected to watching that and saying, well, you know, that's all right. It's Klopp and everything like that. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think anyone thinks it's. I don't even think anyone thinks it's all right, to be honest. And I think with Klopp, he does. Like when people saying Klopp needs to take, I think Klopp does take responsibility for it. It's fans who are taking it away from him on his behalf. Klopp always takes responsibility. He's never blaming the team. He always takes it on himself, and then it's other fans taking it away from him, saying it's not his fault and all this business. But it's clearly like it's shared around the team. But there are some things that just look like, and I'm not the coach, and I don't know from the backroom staff and that. They know better in it. But there's some stuff that I don't think it can be fixed without just removing people from the squad or putting them on the bench and making them play 30 minutes and that. Because Roger just said that Fab needs to fix up. I don't think he can. He's actually not trying to be. He's not trying to be lazy.
I just don't think he's got it now.
That's him. That's him running at full speed, and he looks like he's in quicksand.
Yeah,
That's Milner actually trying to tackle.
Yo, chat.
And
Sorry to cut across it. Sorry to cut across it. I've got a jet now. I've got my baby on the other line. Yeah. So I'll see.
Have you, Rods? Have you?
Yeah, my baby.
You got a booty call. You got a booty call.
No. Well, unless I'm going to America now, but you know what I mean. No, but I'll catch you guys tomorrow anyway. Yeah.
Cheers, Rods.
Man. I'll catch you tomorrow, Rods. Bye. Enjoy, mate.
I would play. I'm not even joking, man. Like, obviously, Arthur, I get it in it because obviously you have to put him on the bench because he's gonna have to have a little bit of game time to get back to things because he's not been playing and he ain't even been in the squad. But I know everyone keeps doing all this like, save Thiago's legs and all this. But nah, bro. Just play the geezer because you can't pick and choose when he's gonna get injured.
Thiago's gonna be injured next week.
So when people do this, like, save him for this game, okay. But how many times have our players been injured in training? Just play him because he looks complete, bro. They put him on the pitch and everything looks different when he's on the pitch, bro. Everything. Now, don't get me wrong, we were still like woeful at the top of the pitch, but all of a sudden, these through balls are getting played into the box and stuff like that. It's a massive difference when he plays. And
the defending got better because
you can't have a world class player on the bench, bro, and we've got none on the pitch.
He's the only midfielder that pressed, and it's because the others can't. They haven't got the energy to press anymore. They literally just haven't got the. This is the only frustrating thing with Jurgen with that at the moment with Klopp, because I've got to be truthful. Any other manager, and we're laughing, we're saying about them. So we've got to be the same with Klopp. No, I've said it with Rafa. I've said it with many managers at this club. We just got to be the same. Yes, Jurgen's brought us success, but it can't be criticised. People are allowed to do it. People are going mad and saying it's all FSG. And as I keep saying, they're all the same pie at the moment. And for me, they've all got a piece. They're all to blame. Everyone from top to bottom. Everyone through the club. They're all equally to blame because they all enjoy working for each other. So they're all to blame. It's simple as that. With Klopp, if he knows the team can't do it at the moment, he's on about he has to reinvent this side. He said in the interview after the game, I've got to reinvent this side. So he knows. My problem with it, if he knows, stop playing the same tactics and formation with these players then. Change it up because it ain't working. It ain't working. I've said it for a while. I don't think Jurgen Klopp bought Carvalho because I don't see where Carvalho plays for Liverpool Football Club if we play this system. He doesn't. It's as simple as that. He can't play in this system.
I think he can play. Just him and Harvey can't play at the same time.
Yeah, I know. So you got to play one of them, and you know he's always going to pick Harvey. So that's what I'm saying. Was Carvalho a Klopp buyer? Because it don't look
from the sound of Klopp, it sounded like that's who we wanted really bad. But
well, if we wanted him, then he needs to play him in his position, which is number 10, and we need to change it up. Darwin Núñez would be Carvalho. Will work beautifully behind Darwin Núñez as a number 9. We don't work to we bought Darwin Núñez and we're playing him like he's Peter Crouch. We're not playing the way he likes to play. He wants to run in the channels. He doesn't want to get involved in play. He doesn't want to get involved in build-up play. Haaland really doesn't want to get involved in build-up play at Man City. He just wants to get on the end of things and score goals. Haaland gets tap-ins. Haaland will get 50 tap-ins this season because there's no better player in the world who does it. He doesn't want to get in build-up play. He doesn't want to drop deep, start off attacks and all that all the time. He just wants to get on the end of a Kevin De Bruyne cross or a through ball and he'll score. We've got to do that with Darwin. But the problem is we can't do that if you're playing Harvey Elliott, James Milner and Fabinho because Darwin ain't going to get fed the service. The only one who's going to feed him the service is probably Thiago, definitely. And Artur is actually really good at passing. So that's probably where the service is going to come from midfield. But Klopp ain't going to play both of them at the same time because he ain't going to leave out Harvey Elliott. And I said this at the beginning of the video. What Klopp is going to show the world is that how much we miss Jordan Henderson in midfield. That's what Klopp's going to show everyone. How much we miss Jordan Henderson in midfield. Endo's only out for 3 weeks. I can guarantee you, once he's back, he plays. Once he's back, he plays. Because I think Klopp thinks this team can't press without Jordan Henderson in midfield. It doesn't press without Jordan Henderson in midfield.
Do you think that's part of the problem, Jamie? Is like with the injuries, obviously, we've always spoke about availability and his options. Do you actually think it's partly him and his mindset thinking, oh, I'll keep doing the same thing because when these guys come back, it will all start to work? Now,
that's what it is.
with Thiago, that is quite true. But I wouldn't say that's the case with anyone else that's out at the minute. And do you think that's why he's just so reluctant to change up the tactics? It's because he's just thinking...
He thinks it's going to click. He thinks once all the boys are back and we start going, it's going to click and we're going to go. I think...
There is some
truth for 7 years.
Though.
To be fair, Klopp can look back at it and go, I've got
evidence
to be proven right because I've won all this. So I've got a proof of it. So he can look back and say that. But the problem is, football doesn't stand still. You've got to keep going, improving and changing and doing different things because, look, everyone keeps going on about, Pep Lijnders' book, everyone knows how to play us now. No, everyone knows how to play us because we played the same way for 7 years. Everyone knows how to play us. We play no different. Our football has not changed. We play the same way.
You know what we used to get praised for before? I say used to before. Listen, I need to relax a little bit because it was only last season and and the seasons before that. But even like pundits, even my friends who are like Man U fans and that, the thing what we always get praised for is our system was so solid that you can lose somebody out of the system and replace him with somebody else and nothing changes. And that was from the youth squad up until this squad. Like even, we played that game against Villa and we lost 5-0. The kids played. And we was in the... If you watch that game, they played exactly like us. They just weren't good enough because they were playing against big men and that. But that was our thing, innit? And we made it to a high standard. And that's where like Tsimikas can fill in for Robbo and it doesn't make a difference. And it really doesn't. And there's not much difference between them two. Like Tsimikas is pretty much top level. Obviously on the right side, to be fair to Rams, is it Ramsey's injured in it, so we don't know. But Trent stopped playing the way he was playing before. So the system works completely. But the problem is like I've said this for a while, and it's probably semantics in it when people say there's a difference between a manager and a coach. There is, to me, there is a difference between it. And I think everyone overhyped the coaching part of Klopp's game. The managing part is the most incredible thing about him.
Yeah, he's a man.
It's like overhyping Ferguson's coaching. Ferguson ain't the greatest coach, bro. No. That's why he got Carlos Queiroz to do everything for him. Exactly. And everyone overhypes that, but the beauty of Klopp, how he plays, is he plays football pretty basic. You know what I mean? There's nothing like, there's no bells and whistles about how we play football. Everyone knows it. We know it. The opposition know it. Before, the problem was everyone knows it and they can't stop it because you're gonna have to get out to Robbo and Trent pretty fast to be able to stop this play. You're gonna have to stop the wingers really fast before you. So it's always been like that, but that's the only way you got to play. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Unless you've got like,
but you gotta have like, and we've said this before. Like when it works, it's unstoppable. But you gotta have layers to it. You gotta have levels because you can't. Like this team at the minute, if I just assess it on today's performance, because he came back, like in fairness, when Thiago come on the pitch, it changed. Yep. Like you gained control and he was starting to thread passes. Liverpool were a bit like a boxer not throwing punches in that first half. But when Thiago come on, he did. So instantly, not only is he better defensively, but he gives the opposition something to think about for them defensively, if that makes sense. So suddenly Napoli ain't that confident and marauding forward and stuff, thinking their offering is nothing to defend it. We'll just boss this midfield and keep going at them wave after wave. Suddenly Thiago come on and he's threading passes that are hurting them, and they're like, oh, hold on, we've got to drop a little bit, and then we can build that momentum. But like the system can't just be to just work when we've got Thiago, because Thiago's an injury-prone player and he's 30. So
it's the
there's got to be more to it,
because our midfield isn't built for creativity away from Thiago, because he's a special guy in it. But our midfield is built to facilitate the left and right back, and they're not doing what they were doing before. They're playing different. So
well, Trent's doing everything, because at one point I seen him overlap on the left wing.
That's the only time he overlapped. He never overlapped Salah on the right wing.
Right, we play a completely different way now. I don't know what it is. I don't know who come up with the tactics this season, but they have. So Salah and Nunez, Salah plays really wide now, really wide, almost like a
Yeah.
wing back. And Trent don't overlap that side. He underlaps.
Never
He
does.
comes inside. They're inverted. Robbo inverted. So they both come in this way all the time, constantly coming in this way. I don't know who brought this up and why they've done that. The overlapping's gone. We need overlapping. Robbo, I've said this for a while now. Tsimikas ain't in much better form than Robbo, but Tsimikas has a better relationship with Diaz on that left-hand side of the pitch for me. Robbo and Diaz are like two people that meet each other in a
They
blind
look
date.
so
They're like,
lost. They look
yeah,
so
you're all right.
lost
I like you,
playing
but
together.
yeah. And Diaz is like Diaz and Tsimikas
Probably
are
can't
like,
flipping understand each other, man.
yeah, Diaz and Tsimikas are like, oh, we went out in high school. Yeah, I remember him. You know what I mean? You know, they got a bit more relationship together. Football's about combinations on the pitch as well. You need good combinations on the pitch. Gary Neville and David Beckham, much as I hate it, were a great combination. Yeah,
Yeah, never made
they're
that
a
run
great
every time,
combination.
bro.
Gary Neville wasn't a great right back, but he was a great outlet for David Beckham. He was a tremendous outlet for David Beckham, and he helped him massively. What's going on here? And he helped him massively.
Mm.
Trent and Salah have a good combination. They always did till this season because I don't know what's happened. But Robbo needs to be dropped. Robbo has to take time out. Robbo is one of these players we're talking about whose legs he's shattered. The man has not stopped playing football for about 4 years by the seams of it. He plays every game for Scotland, plays every game for Liverpool. The man just needs to take some time out. Play Tsimikas. I don't know what Klopp's got it in with Tsimikas. I remember last season, Tsimikas played 3 or 4 games in a row because Robbo was out injured. He was playing really well, and then he dropped him straight away when Robbo came back because Robbo is one of his loyal lieutenants that he trusts. I do think Klopp has a trust problem. With certain players.
Simi's a good example. Can you imagine how Simi must feel knowing that Robbo is absolutely dead on his feet and he still can't get back-to-back games or whatever it is? You know, like he played against Everton and he was okay. He didn't pull up many trees, right? But like, what would have been the harm just to play him again tonight, knowing that Napoli have, like, if they did any kind of assessment on how Napoli were going to play, they knew that they needed to be high energy and motivated. Well, you get that with Simi. I don't think I've ever seen Tsimikas, even though he looks so tired, when he gets on the pitch, he is actually quite energetic and up for it. And if he's fighting for a space and he's finally got an opportunity, he even will be even more so. So to then play Robbo again, it's a bit like, well, how many times are you going to rely on your backups actually staying motivated?
Yeah. And
Salah's struggling to adapt to how we play as well. I know everyone thinks that we've got the exact same system and tactics as before, but we clearly don't.
He's so wide.
And Klopp doesn't want him that wide. He doesn't want him that wide, bro. He even said
he's listening to Pep. But the thing is, though, these are the tactics that they're to compensate to get Darwin in the team, right?
Yeah, but even when you want the players to stretch the pitch a bit, Salah is hogging the touchline. Like when I watched Klopp's interview after the game, and they asked him what went wrong, and he was going through the different stages. It was like the biggest thing was we weren't compact enough. We weren't compact enough in defense, and we weren't compact enough in midfield or at the top of the pitch. He said they were too wide. And when you're too wide, you leave massive holes.
Well,
and that's fine if you've got speed there. If you've got Cole Walker on the pitch, you leave the gap there, he'll just catch up with you. Leave gaps between us, and it looks horrible, bro. Like, I understand that people are saying stuff about Virgil, and I think with Virgil, he's not been the best. But sometimes now, even when he has a decent game, because it's got such a high standard with what everyone's got, then everyone's like, oh, it was trash. When you watch that, when he goes across for that penalty, you don't realise that's not Virgil's side of the pitch, bro. Like, someone else was supposed to be there. He had to run across as fast as he can. Osimhen's rapid as well.
I was very 50-50 on that penalty as well.
It was a penalty, but if it happened to us,
the guy put his foot out into his like running path.
I've seen that happen so many times in football where it never gets a penalty. But
let's be smart though. For weeks we've all been saying we need Virgil to engage. First time he engaged, penalty.
Well, Virgil can't sprint.
Second time he did it against the Mitrovic as well.
Yeah, Virgil can't sprint. It's a problem.
Thing is, it sounds mad, innit? Because I'm not saying we should accommodate Virgil, and I don't mean it like that. But it's the way the team's playing that's forcing him to defend like this. You're forcing him to do something that's not his way of defending. Now everyone has their own style in doing certain things, and it's like forcing Salah onto his right foot all the time, or forcing somebody else to do something. You don't do it, innit? So obviously his way of defending is how he's always been defending. That's why when everyone keeps saying, "Oh, this standoff thing," I'm like, I know everyone wants him to engage and all that, but let's be honest, no one was saying this when he was winning stuff, and he's playing the same. He's playing the same, but now it's like there's no trust with the rest of the people at the back with him. It's like he don't trust them anymore.
But that's part of the frustration, though.
That man just made me giggle. Virgil can't sprint, but spare a thought for Trent. He can't even chop. True. It's not even a lie, though, is it? That's the problem.
But the thing is, though, like we talk about like the tactics, right? Is the tactic now for Trent to just go wherever he wants? Because if that's not the tactic, then I'm looking at Klopp, if we're saying he's a man manager, right? And saying, why haven't you pulled him yet? Because I've seen this every single game this season. Why hasn't this been nipped in the bud? Because if the tactics, right, is that he plays as a right back and he gets covered for or whatever, but then he needs to be pulled up. And why hasn't he been pulled up yet? And if he's still continuing to do that 7 games in, then there needs to be serious discussions. Like, if it's a tactic, fair enough. You accept it. I'm sure towards the end of the game, because we've been chasing, we were always behind. I'm sure that there's probably a bit more freedom because he's so techy that they probably just say, you can have a bit more freedom now. But from the off, we've either got to decide whether it's tactics that he can do that. And if it's not, then Klopp needs to do what we're all saying is his role as a manager and start pulling these players and doing
I'd be very interested to know if he'd still be playing if Ramsey was fit. I would be very interesting to know because he took him off against Newcastle, I think. Was it Newcastle took him off against? Put Milner on right back. And then obviously Everton said he had a knock, but that seemed planned. But I know exactly what you mean because that's part of the coaching, the managing as well. Like he's just running where he wants. I'm sure part of the tactic is a bit more freedom, clearly, but I have seen Klopp screaming at him on the sideline many times. I think the freedom doesn't matter if you've got somebody willing to run back, but it's not. So
it might be.
That's where the problem is. Because if you watch without being disrespectful and that, it's nothing new. And it's so great going forward that we kind of took the rough with the smooth before, but now it's getting ridiculous because if you go through all the right backs on other teams in the rest of the league, they all run more than him. They all run more than him, bro. Yeah, I mean, flipping is Malacia play right back for Man U? He runs way more than him. All of them do.
He plays left back, but
left back. Yeah, they all run more than him, bro.
Yeah, and
it's just a willing to get back, man. Sometimes running back and just being in front of somebody puts them off in it. If you've got nobody to, like, if you stand him up one-on-one, I'm wondering, like, anyone can get done by a person with loads of skill. But I'm wondering, when he gets past you, do you carry on and try and win it back? And that's where the problem comes in. Because he's not trying to win it back. It's almost like the goal what Jamie was on about, the 1-2 goal bothered me more than anything. That and Gomez making that stupid mistake, because Gomez actually made that mistake on the other side of the pitch before that happened as well. And I think Osimhen went round Alisson and he nearly went in. That was in the first minute of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to be honest, with Gomez, once he makes one mistake, you've got to be watching him, because either he recovers and he does fine, but if he makes a second mistake quite closely on, take him off.
If you watch the preseason game against Man U, same thing what happened. Made a mistake once, then he lost his head.
Gets in his own head too much, doesn't he?
Yeah. And I think with him, it's always going to be a shame, isn't it? Because he always needs a run of games to get into stuff and that. But listen, it's unforgiving and that. And clearly, you've had all these injuries, which changed the game a little bit, because it's almost like he's thinking way ahead in the move he's going to do, and that's what Osimhen just took the ball off him, because he just he almost ran over the ball and then left it to him, and it's not the best, man. And then I'm like, Nunes ain't really had a chance properly yet, because these are all like weird situations you're putting these guys in, bro. Diaz is running his ass off, bro. Like, if everyone's worried now, you should be worried if Diaz gets injured, bro, because he did not stop trying all game, bro. Yeah, and the game before. So
he's the one player that's showing that fight, isn't he? Always. And like, not everything's coming off for him. Like, the amount of times he cuts in and he actually gets dispossessed.
Yeah.
Like, it's 40. Like, he's done well. He's chipped in with the goals where he has took it on himself and shot from outside the box and whatever. Usually the same type of goal, but like, at least we're seeing a bit of fight in him. Like,
if everyone does that and it doesn't work, then we just lose, isn't it?
Well,
That's
this is
just
the
what it is.
problem. Like, not only have we got like the tactics that ain't particularly working, but like players are now just not doing the basics. And the thing is with this Liverpool team, like, regardless of tactics and personnel on the pitch, like, there's so much quality that if everybody just did the basics, they'd probably get results better than they are now.
Do
But
you
they're just not.
Yeah. Do you used to agree that, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Napoli and that they beat us, like, you know what I mean? They were amazing in the first half as well, by the way. Second half was whatever. But I've seen this happen, I would say, Fulham, Man U, and this game so far this season. That once we decided to play a little bit of football, like any kind of football, the other team just looks shit instantly, bro. Like, Thiago, come on, we've made a few passes, and I'm like, I'm not even joking. I know this sounds deluded. It's 4-1 down and that. I'm literally looking at, like, get another goal, bro, and this team might just crumble, bro. Same thing we did against Villarreal. When we was losing against Man U, they outplayed us all game. Got one goal back from Salah, and I was like, hold on a minute. This Man U team shit, bro. Fulham, we ran out of time, innit? We got the 2 goals back, but we just ran out of time. And I'm like, if it's that easy, bro, this is even worse because it's showing that, like, just play basic football. Don't go over the top and do stuff. I think you guys will know this as well, that, like, our thing is based on, of course, quality, but it's more based on quantity, and it's do more than everybody else, and eventually it works on it. That's why I can imagine. I don't even need to look at the stats, but I bet you'll say that Salah's had more shots than everyone, Trent's had more crosses than everyone, and Virgil's played more long balls from the back, him and Anderson or someone like that. And that's because that's how we work on it. But now it's like Salah's not even doing the repetition of stuff anymore. Trent's doing the repetition of crosses, but they're not even, like, some of the time he's not even looking up. He's just, like, hitting it. And I'm like, bro, if you just slow down the quantity a little bit more and keep the ball and pick out stuff now instead of having to hoof it every time. Because all you're doing is giving the ball back to the other team. And clearly everyone can get us on a counter-attack now. So I'm just like, take a bit away from it, man. I don't want to, like, I think Jamie said it many times, bro. And the possession one, I don't know if I agree with as much because it's kind of hard to give up possession. So it kind of feels unnatural to you to not have the ball. But I don't need to see stats after every single game. Every single game, by the way, even the ones we've lost and drew, that we've had more shots than the other team, more shots on target, more throw-ins, more corners, more everything, and we lost the game, bro. Because it means nothing, bro. It means nothing. So
I hate that that's the case as well, because and this don't happen obviously, but I always think that, like, the following day when Klopp and Linders sit down and they review the game, they look at the stats, they go, actually, we weren't too bad. And you're like, we were. I need you to understand how bad we are.
No,
so
that's what they do. They look at
it.
analytics. Everything's analytics. They look at computers.
The thing is, everyone does, but it's like
the eye test, isn't it? The eye test is just.
Well, this is the
the eye test thing is where I used to get a lot of flack from Liverpool fans for this, by the way, but I don't really give a shit, bro. But, like, I love Salah in it. Like, I think Salah's dope. But I was always a bit like, he doesn't always look the best on the eye. Forget the goals and stuff like that. Like, he doesn't always look the best on the eye. So that's why when he does the magical sitting man down and stuff like that, he ends up being, like, so over the top incredible and stuff like that. Now, I said this last season, why we were chasing Man City down. And, of course, I don't care in the end. Of course, I'm a Liverpool supporter. I support the club no matter what. And, of course, I want to win the game. And I'm backing the boys and whatever. I'm not throwing my toys out the pram. But I can still watch a game, win the game, and say, hey, it weren't fun to watch, bro. And last season was that season for me. Season before, and forget that COVID season. Season before that, we won the league. Great football. The season before that, the football was even better. The season before that, we won the Champions League. But, like, last season, bro, honestly, if Liverpool fans are honest with themselves, the type of football was kind of, it wasn't the same. It was obviously better. But there were so many times where we just got over the line and we just got...
We'd create nothing and then we'd score. And you're just like, I'm with you, Savage. I remember watching games and for the first 20 minutes thinking, how are we going to score here? And then we do. And it's like, what? Like, we don't... I know we play differently to Man City, but Man City probe and it eventually happens. Where so many games for us, we just look like, not clueless because we're always controlling the game, but certainly from creating clear-cut chances, they don't happen, and then suddenly we score.
That's why last season, the front three played as individuals at different parts of the season instead of playing like a team. So that's why at the beginning of the season, everyone was saying that Salah's the best in the world. And it was basically after like 3 games because he did the same thing to Man City and Watford. And I was like, I don't agree he's the best in the world, but he's dope at what he does. He's the best at what he does, but I'm never going to agree he's the best in the world. And, you know what I mean? And I get the Ballon d'Or thing, how that works. That's why towards the end of the season, everyone's like, well, if we win the league or win the Champions League, Mane's got to be the best player in the world. I'm like, but he didn't play like the best player in the world. Both of them had half of a season where they were average. And the other half, they racked up the goals. And then in between that, Jota was probably the more consistent one. Yeah, it was like gaps between his goals, but he was more consistent. And it wasn't fun to watch, bro. Like, the reason why everyone raved on about Mane towards the end is because he kept getting winning goals, but they were like scrappy goals and stuff like that. And when people say we miss him, I'm like, no. What everyone means is we miss the left wing Mane, but he left 2 seasons ago. Like, he left that season in COVID. He was trash.
Yeah.
And when we lost him this season, it was the striker Mane, and he was still not good. He was just scoring goals, and that's why we said, well, bring Nunes in and he can score. If he can just score basic goals, that will cover what Mane did. We already know Jota can do it. And that's kind of how it was. That it kind of got sucked out of, we had one way to play, and we bullied our way to winning them games. And obviously doing that took everything out of us going for trying to chase Man City down, which is hard enough, and I commend the boys for it. And that's why I went to the parade and that, because I was still like, I'm proud he is and that. But listen, we can't escape the fact that we didn't score in the FA Cup. We didn't score in the League Cup final, the FA Cup final, or the Champions League final. There's not that's not a coincidence, bro. We just couldn't score. We couldn't.
And you add to that the results against Spurs last season, Man City last season, Chelsea last season. There's actually a lot of games where, you know, what you consider big games where Liverpool actually really failed to score, like you've said. I think they played well, not played poorly because they play well in moments, but they've not.
Jesus Christ! Sorry, guys. Someone just tried to break in.
What?
Yeah.
Into your house?
Yeah.
You saw it? What's going on?
Yeah. I just slapped him.
What the fuck is going on, bro?
Trying to come through my front room window.
Oh, you just jumped back on stream?
Yeah.
Nah, this excuses. Jamie's an undercover agent, bro. There's no way, bro. He's Jack Bauer, man. How do you just jump back?
Wait, this is someone in the chat. Someone in the chat ain't happy with what we're saying.
I think it's that Klopp out dude, bro.
Yeah, it's KO.
But no, yeah. I had a noise downstairs, like in my front garden area. Yeah, like because I got all pebbles outside, so you can hear rustling. So someone's on there. Someone just someone's had their head in my window, kitchen in front room window, and was halfway through into my front room. So as he's coming in the front room window, I just kicked him in the face like that, and he went running.
This is one of them FSG out geezers, bro.
And he just went running.
That's
so
nuts.
he's gone now.
What the hell?
How are we supposed to get back to tactics after that, bro?
Some weirdos out there, do you know what I mean? Some proper weirdos. Yeah, so before I went, that team I put out there is the team I want to see against Wolves in that formation. 4-2-3-1. Diaz and Salah are a bit more narrow, where you'll get the best out of Salah as well. Carvalho in the 10, Darwin in the 9, and then Thiago and Fabinho as a pivot in the 2.
I prefer that, to be fair. Take Fabinho out and put Arthur in just because, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are right. I'd rather see that, to be honest.
Yeah, but like we say, like even with that though, as soon as you put Thiago in, it just transforms that team, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think that'll have more control in that game as well. And Salah and Diaz will be a little bit more narrow playing this formation, which I think will help them massively. But yeah, I just got to get my breath back.
I almost want Trent. I want Trent to get to the byline.
Yeah, because if you play him this narrow, if you play this formation, Salah's more narrow. So then Trent's got more room to do this, you know.
And it's
all when like, you play Salah here, when Salah plays here, Trent can't go there. So Trent's going here. It just don't suit.
Also, even if Salah does go there, where Trent is now, he'll just cross the ball from there anyway.
Yeah, that is very true.
And then Salah just looks confused. I think, as much as all the stuff I just said, and I said that like I've always said that he ain't the best on the ball looking sometimes, Salah. I just said it. I don't really care, man. I've been saying it in it. But if he still offers the most output, clearly on evidence he does for our football team, if you add his assists and his goals together, it's probably more than everyone every single season. Then you have to find a way to carry on doing stuff around him, innit? And he's got to let
What
Klopp
did
know
I
that he
miss?
can't.
What's this eye test stuff? What did I miss? The eye test men will convince you Neymar's better than Messi. What I don't know what eye test they're watching though. They need contact lenses.
Yeah, it's a bit sad, isn't it?
I've never seen a more beautiful player on the ball than
the state of football's a bit dead because now what's happened is now you get flack for saying eye test now, but everyone who knows about eye tests don't like stats still matter in it. They still matter the output and things like that.
Well, if you look
but
at
obviously
stats,
some people,
Frank Lampard's
there's some people who are clearly not
Frank
great on the
Lampard's got
ball.
a better output than Zinedine Zidane in stats.
Yeah, and Bergkamp.
Who's the better player?
Lampard's got better output than Bergkamp, Van Persie, Zidane. All of them,
like, he's got a much better output for goals and assists than Zidane. But if you had to pick one midfielder in world football, are you picking Lampard or Zidane?
Zidane.
Exactly. Stats have a thing, but a number doesn't tell you. You could. An assist these days, you can have a shot and if it rebounds off you, that's an assist.
Well, we already know because that means that Ronaldo's the best player to ever live, in it. CR7, he's got better stats than everyone.
Yeah, it's just not.
Well, I think on the frequency with Salah, I think we need to find. Like, I don't know the game by game stats, but I can imagine that so far this season, Salah's shots per game is down, in it. He's not having as many shots anymore. If he's not having as many shots anymore, Salah's not a 1-in-1 man to score goals. He's a 1-in-3 in it. He has 3 shots, he might score 1. So if he's having like 3 shots a game, well, don't expect any goals from him, man.
But like again today though, I'm trying to think about Salah's game. I can only think about one moment, and it was just the one where Trent clipped it into him.
Oh man, and he missed it.
And he missed it. He miscontrolled it completely.
Yeah.
I actually can't remember a single thing that he did.
And that's my point, because if Nunes misses that ball, everyone loses their damn mind. Is shit. You can't. And I'm like, that was a really good ball. It wasn't a half chance, bro. You put that down, it's a goal on it. And I'm always gonna like feel bad for him a little bit in that, because he's not choosing not to be on form and stuff like that. But I watched his interview before the Man U game, I think, with that, I can't remember that lady on Sky Sports, and she asked him about adapting his game and talking about Nunes and stuff like that. And he sounded very confident about the way he's going to play and all this stuff. But he's a volume man, and people don't. That's how he is, bro. He's not Harry Kane, bro. Like, I'm telling you, bro. Salah's had more shots in his Premier League career than Harry Kane, and it's a fact, bro. You can see it. Harry Kane might get 1 chance and 1 goal, bro. Been doing it over the last few weeks, and that Salah, 1 chance, 1 goal. I don't know, and it's not a diss on him. Even if you watch him for Egypt and that, there's a reason why he didn't score that many goals in AFCON. I don't know if I think he scored 1 or something like that. Because when he got the chances, they were like weird, meaty half chances, and then there's all that weak shot and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is.
But the thing is,
yeah,
if we're accepting he's a player that's not going to be involved in the game and is just going to get the goals and the assists, right? Can we afford to carry too many of them players? Because Diaz works hard, so don't worry, you've got him. But like Nunes, I thought that's what he was going to just be the man in the box that just took away all of the.
My next thing I was going to say to you and Jamie, and it's
early in the season.
It's early in the season. Do you remember when I came out and I said that I don't know if Bobby and Diaz can play together because it didn't look good at the beginning of the season? If Salah can't adapt to being a winger because he's been so used to doing this like weird wing forward thing, him and Nunes can't play, bro. They can't. Yeah. And if him and Jota play, then that means they have to go back to how Liverpool was playing last season. They can't. They have to, because the same thing's going to happen.
Well, what's going to happen is what's currently happening is that all of the creativity falls on the fullbacks, and then it just creates a whole world of problems when you're just relying on Trent to create, because then he feels that pressure to get up the pitch and create, and he's not concentrating on then his defensive duty and his work rate. So it just like it begins to snowball.
You don't ever want to be in a position where if Trent's shit, then we're shit, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I fear that we might be going down that road.
It's already started, isn't it?
Yeah, because like there is an argument to say, like, if the front three had clicked, I know Nunes got sent off, right? And Bobby has done well. I thought it was appalling today, but he has done well up to today.
Yeah.
If the front three had clicked, right, then we wouldn't be casting such a light over people like Trent and stuff. We would, because his mistakes and his work rate is terrible, and we're still conceding goals.
Yeah.
But like, had Salah have been playing as well, if he'd have started this season as well as he'd started last season, was involved in all the game, throughout the game, you know, creating constantly, getting goals constantly, we wouldn't be focusing on the defense quite as much. We'd be saying this is like a basketball game, and the high line's crucial, whatever. But like, it's because the attack is failing so much, we are highlighting the defensive deficiencies quite a lot more as well. It's like everything's so like intertwined, isn't it? Like you just
who did Salah make that cross to earlier, like on the outside of his foot? Yeah, he tried a cross. I don't know if it was to Bobby.
Yeah. That was just a ball in the box.
If you notice that cross, he done it. He done it a few times last season, and it worked. And he got like 4 assists off that same move. You notice how far back he was this time doing it.
Yeah.
It was like nowhere near the box.
He's too deep.
And I think you don't want Salah to lose his confidence because he can't. Yeah, he's not the best at taking people on anyway. He's just not the best at one-on-one taking people on, and that's fine. I don't want him to lose the confidence in trying it though. I don't, because when he doesn't try it, then all of a sudden it means that it feels like we've got 10 men on the pitch. You just don't see him at all. I think Rod's made the point earlier that Diaz, or it might be Cap, when Diaz tries stuff and it don't come off, he'll just try it again. He's so hellbound on trying to get forward and help the team out and stuff. I'll just try it again. And you're right, Cav, towards the end of the game, there was a few times when he tried the cutting on the left and the person took the ball off him. But what I saw immediately was him trying to run back and get the ball off them. Yeah. Now, I don't mind it. Like I said, because Salah's a numbers guy, you might have to try that take on 4 times and get past once, innit? But he's got to the point now where he's stopping. If he stops doing it, we don't need you on the pitch. Like, everyone can get it, bro. Everyone can get. I don't care if you're our best player. If you're not doing your thing on the pitch, you're pointless. Like, if Alisson didn't save anything, then play Kelleher in it because it's pointless. If Salah, you're not going to score or assist or do something, you're kind of pointless, bro. At this point, bro, I'm like, yo, I was at one point in the game, I was like, put Taki on, and I realized we don't have him. I swear to God. I was like, take Salah, I've put Taki on, bro. I realized we don't have him, man.
So, there's a lot of rumours online that Klopp might go.
I think that's just the aftermath. I don't think there's much in that.
I mean, if he did, we've already lost the manager I'd have him replaced with. So
if everyone's saying FSG are tight, you think they want to pay Klopp out after you only just signed the contract?
Yeah, Klopp's walking.
You have to pay him for the next 5 years, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And that's no transfers then, is it?
That'll be the Nike money, isn't it? Now the Nike money's gone to Jurgen's contract.
Yeah, that's where it all went.
Do you think that obviously I'm not telling people how to think and stuff like that. I always offer options because I'm always thinking of the mental health of the Liverpool fans in it. And I'm thinking how I feel and the stuff I block out. Some stuff I just block out and I only see it when I come to the internet and I just laugh at it. So like, I'll come on and make like valid points, but I really don't give a shit about the business side of Liverpool. I really don't give a shit because I know that I hate when I can't affect something in it. I already like gave myself up to the football world when I was a kid that I cannot affect what goes on the pitch. So that will be the one psychopath thing I do. Just pretend that I affect stuff and I don't. The business side, I'm not affecting billionaires, bro. Like us, like, I'm having this conversation. But these men, they ain't not seeing our stuff, bro. So it's fine, innit? But do you think that, like, if the transfer window's closed, why am I still talking about FSG, bro?
Oh, you won't stop. There's a tweet right now, right? I'll read this tweet out. I'm not going to say it's by, but he's a complete prick. I tried to warn you. This is why I've been banging on for years about FSG, lack of investment from them, especially since 2019. This has been absolutely scandalous, and they only get away with it because the fans defend it. And as I said the other day, there is no such thing as FSG out because there is no proof. There's no proof. It's just hashtag FSG out on Twitter. If John W. Henry ain't on Twitter, how would he know that everyone in the fan base apparently wants him out? He wouldn't because there's no protests.
Bro.
When we want Hicks and Gillette gone, there was protests, there was banners, everyone was making noise. I spoke to Jack the other day on the video. He goes to the games quite a lot, and obviously lives right next door to Anfield, saying no more annoying than us. He says there's nothing at the stadium.
No,
Nothing.
there's
You
not.
wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
There's
So
not, bro.
all this FSG out stuff is, I believe some people probably do want FSG out, but all they keep on about is saying it on Twitter constantly and telling everyone why everyone's wrong. Why
Mate,
everyone's wrong, I'm right. FSG should be out.
Even if
Yeah,
FSG,
maybe they should, but
yeah.
you're doing nothing to get rid of them. By
even if
just typing on
FSG
Twitter.
out was trending
Yeah.
and it was 2,000 people, it was behind 2,000 people out of like millions of Liverpool fans, not a
millions
lot
and
of
millions
people,
of
bro.
fans.
That
Yeah,
is light work, bro. Like I was in that parade with 650,000 Liverpool fans, a little bit more. And don't you think if FSG out, they would have just infiltrated that whole parade and made it known on TV? We want them out the club. League Cup and FA Cup's not good enough. If you go to the streets of Liverpool, go in the pub to speak to like older geezers and that, they're not FSG out, bro. First of all, don't even care about FSG and they just love Klopp. They don't. They're all of them are like, I was around for the glory days, and now it's back. I don't know what you lot are talking about. You kids ain't had it so easy. That's the kind of conversation you're gonna get from them. So it's not a real thing, bro.
It's not real. It's just people putting it on Twitter and like, they're going on about, oh, I told you all. And it's like, and then someone replies saying it's not FSG right now. It's all about tactics and we have weaknesses and strengths. And then everyone's replying, no, it is all about FSG. So apparently FSG told Jurgen Klopp play 4-3-3 when their legs are gone and play a high line when we can't press the ball. So that is apparently FSG's fault. It's apparently FSG's fault that James Milner keeps playing. I said this earlier as well. He said Thiago and Arthur weren't ready. If they're not ready, why are they on the bench? Simple as that. Because all you're doing is making it things like we and other fans and all that talk about it. Well, if they're not ready, why are they on the bench? If they're not ready, don't put them on the bench, and then we can't all say anything. Then we can go, right, he has to play Milner. I can guarantee you, Milner got sent off after 10 minutes. Thiago would come on and play 80.
Thing is, Jay,
so
them not don't like, and to be fair, they shouldn't either. They don't care what we're saying. They've got other things to think about. They don't care what we're saying, so it might make like other fan bases banter us and stuff like that. But that ain't Klopp's business. Like that is not his job in it to like stop other people. It's his job to do whatever with the team and stuff. All the other stuff after. I can imagine that the only way Klopp hears certain things, little things, is like his son comes up to him. He's like, "Oh, Dad, you hear what they're saying online?" I don't care in that. But he heard what his son told him.
Man, I mean, literally. But would you have taken the 70% fit Thiago today over a Milner?
Yeah, I think I would have, but
I mean,
I wouldn't have.
Fit. I mean,
I have to say though, I didn't see this game going how it went at all, bro.
Yeah.
I know that we've not had the best season so far. But I
thought
was
we'd get a draw at least. I thought
I
was
like, guys, it's going to be an edgy game,
because Napoli's
we'll
a good because a lot of people might not know how good Napoli are because they're not watching. But Napoli play great football, so I thought a draw would be a good result, especially away in Naples. It's a hostile atmosphere, but they're playing good football. And when I saw that midfield of Elliott, Fabinho, and Milner against that midfield Napoli had with their pace and strength, and then Osimhen up top, and that great little player they got, only 8.5 million he cost, that Georgian. 8.5 million. He's going to be a superstar, I tell you. And I was like, we're going to get annihilated.
Napoli only know how to play one way as well. So that's why they played like that. They played like Atalanta played like that last season. Ajax, they play like that as well. They can't do anything else. So that's why once Thiago came on, they look weird. They look like a shit team again. And obviously they're not shit, but they're still in the Italian league. It's not the Prem. So it's a bit of a...
big up Jamrock. Big up Jamrock with a super chat. Yeah, Navi's been named in the Guinea squad, but he's injured apparently.
Yeah, he's...
Big up Jamrock.
Yeah,
I told you, Naby's not... I don't think we ever seen Naby play for Liverpool Football Club ever again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I think our... It's you know, I find it so weird because I just remember last season just looking at the squad and looking at the age of some of the members of the squad and thinking we've got like there's people who are like 25 and stuff in the squad and 23 and that, and they're the future of the squad. Because now we've got injuries all of a sudden, they're like missing, and it looks weird because I went through the Arsenal squad the other day and I just counted the age of their players and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like obviously they've got decent players, don't get me wrong, but the reason why everyone thinks they look so good is the energy, bro. Energy. we used to come and blow people away. Sometimes we weren't even playing good football, but the energy was so high that like we were relentless. Now we're getting outran by teams, and that should never happen when you Liverpool. I told you this already. Unless you Leeds, no one should be outrunning us. But yeah, look, I'll read this to you in it because I wrote it down. The Arsenal players, in it. So this Martinelli 21, Jesus 25, Smith Rowe 22, Nketiah 23, Vieira 22, Odegaard 23, Sambi 22, Ben White 24, Saliba 21, Gabriel 24, Zinchenko 25, Tierney 25, Tomiyasu 23, Ramsdale 24. The oldest player is Xhaka, I think.
And if that squad stays together, they'll approach like their peak years at the same time.
We're doing what Liverpool did.
They're all the age.
All
25 is the oldest
players
of the one I just
25.
read, and that's the age when Mane and Salah and all that came to our club. That's how old they were.
All Liverpool's players are 24, 25, and then they've been together, and now they've just been together too long. They're in a loveless marriage.
Yeah,
they're in a loveless marriage. They've got 4 kids. They've got 4 kids. They don't want to split up because the kids love their mum and dad, but their marriage is loveless. They're in separate beds in the same bedroom. You know, they haven't slept with each other for 2 years. The kids think everything's all right, logos they're putting on the front. That is what our team is like at the moment. We're in a loveless marriage. They've all been together far too long.
What I would add to that, Jay, you know, we're probably like, and we're very good at this, keeping our problems in house. Like you'd never hear about players coming out and moaning about, but we are 1 or 2 instances away of players coming out saying stuff they shouldn't say, leaking, grumblings around the squad, you know, agents coming out now from this turning into being a bit of a crisis.
But then, if we win on Saturday, and City and Tottenham play each other, they go drop points. Liverpool right back up there again. It's sort of it's a band-aid on the cut, ain't it? That's what it is at the moment, and that's what. So if we beat Wolves on Saturday, and because City and Tottenham are playing each other, they're going to take points off each other. Liverpool right back up there again, and then it don't look so bad. I mean, City lose and we win. There's only a 2-point gap.
You think about blaming loads of people that like. That was just Arsenal. That was a thing. Yeah. So if I go through Manu, it's not far off. By the way, I'm not even joking. Like
they're all copying what we did 4 years ago.
Because apart from Casemiro and Eriksen, who's their experienced players to put in the squad, and De Gea, the rest of the team, I'm not joking. I think Rashford's one of the oldest ones, and he's not even old yet. So, it's one of them, and obviously for us, we know that the Prem's unforgiving, so you don't want to give it too much time to watch it see unfold and then go, okay, they know what to do here and there, but kind of have to now because there's not another transfer window. And for some of the players, it's their legs that just don't keep up with them anymore. And then for some of them, it's a choice on it. And I feel like the problem is there might be a bit too many where it's just their legs, which is worrying because you can't do nothing about it.
Well, I think for a long time, quite a few players have been playing just on momentum, and that momentum's just dried out. Do you know what I mean? Like Henderson plays on injections for most part of this season.
Agreed.
And now he's injured. But you can imagine, you know, if you're winning games and you're on a roll and you're excited and you need the next game to come, that pain just eases a little bit. Still there, but you don't feel it as much.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, Milner plays on passion on it.
But the thing like Milner today, though, like he looked old today.
Yeah, he did.
But he was the only man that was pressing up the pitch, which is what everybody else should have been doing. You know, like when you assess things, you know, and you think about what it actually is, because Klopp has referred to the fact that there was no counter press until Thiago come on, and that the space between the lines was too big, and that there was just no press. We know our high line is only effective if you've got pressure on the ball. Well, the thing is, I noticed today, which I hadn't noticed in other games, is like the press is like not only are we doing it as individuals, not as a team, but the press starts from like 30, 40 yards.
Horrible, bro.
Like I literally watch Fabinho run 30 yards to press a man, and I instantly know before he gets there that the man's waiting for him to arrive so he can just turn him the other way because he's running at full pelt at this point.
I'm never going to be able to get an image out of my head what the Georgian player that James was on about. I literally watched Fab do the longest stretch to tackle him, and it's like his foot went through the guy's body, and he missed him, and then did it again, and then he just ran past him. I was like, oh my God, bro. Like, you're 100% right with the press, bro. because there was what you've done about Milner pressing. Then there was a part where Milner pressed, and he's just stopped. And I know why he stopped because I've done it in football myself. When you press in Sunday League and Saturday League and that, and then you look around the rest of the team, you look like a dickhead, bro. It's like, oh, so you're not going to press because when I get to this guy, he's obviously just going to pass it to the next guy, and I'm going to look a knob. And when the second half, obviously he had a yellow card, he sat back a bit more and stopped, and then he looked better. Milner did then because it's like I'm cautioned here to do this. I have to stay disciplined and stuff like that. But obviously Thiago come on at the same time, and he contains the ball, bro. He holds it.
But that's part of that. I know we all know this, but like the press isn't just to win the ball, right? That's obviously number one aim. But if you can't win the ball, the press is to put so much pressure on the defense that they end up just hoofing it up the pitch.
Yeah.
So that then the likes of Virgil and Gomez and Matip, whoever's playing, can just mop it up, and then you restart the attack again, and all the play stays up the pitch. The trouble is, if that press isn't there, they just either change direction and bypass the play, which was happening most times today, or they just pass it to the next man because you've not pressed as a team. And then it goes from controlling the ball to playing precise through balls straight onto the defense. Like the margins is either you win the ball back or you force them to just hoof it, which they don't want to do, or they get out and they hit an incredible, it doesn't even have to be incredible, because for their fourth goal, it's just the ball over the top. The margins between getting it right is so fine as well. But you at least have to press as a team to give yourself a chance.
Yeah. Do you know what's the mad thing? When Diaz scored, Napoli looked rattled.
They look shit.
And that's crazy. And it's 4-1. We ain't coming back in the game. Napoli know that. But they actually started to look a bit rattled on giving away the ball, putting the ball out of play. They looked a little bit rattled because we scored. When we start to play, this is the annoying thing. When we start to play, we make teams look crap sometimes.
Easy.
But we can't do it at the moment for some reason. Whatever it is, there's loads of comments from Klopp tonight. It's all about the midfield, really, about control and need to reinvent something in that midfield. Yeah. So I think Klopp hopefully will sit down with his coaching staff and try and come up with a new way of playing, change it up a little bit, because we have got players there. Everyone's saying we ain't got players there and all this about FSG not giving Klopp players. I was watching Coppish the other day, big up to the boys in Coppish, and they were talking about like FSG ain't giving Klopp players and all that. And then Drifty started talking about, hang on, right? He was going about the team while we're not playing well at the moment. And then he went, well, half this team is brand new. So that's when I super chatted in and went, Drifty, I thought you just said the club ain't giving this team new players if half the team's brand new.
Agreed.
So
it goes back to that point that Klopp's just raised, that he's got to reinvent this team. Well, yeah, you had to reinvent it at the start of the season, because believe it or not, you don't have the players that you previously had. So this team was never going to be able to, not never, but it was unlikely to replicate what Liverpool were at their very best, because you haven't. When we spoke about Liverpool when they're at the peak, Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, they always used to say, "Oh, forget about what they're doing in attack. Look how hard they work. Look how hard Mane and Salah work."
Everyone's outrun us. Bournemouth outrun us, but we won that game 9-0. That's a mad stat, by the way.
If your midfield's now got Harvey Elliott in it and not Gini Wijnaldum,
you can't.
Then it's a different midfield. Well, that's a third of your midfield that's different. It is different. You can't continue to play the same way.
You got a great point there, bringing up Harvey. I like Harvey Elliott. We all like Harvey Elliott. I know some fan base are split on him. Some people think he's too slow. He can't turn a player.
You're the person who's been our best player this season.
He doesn't do anything extraordinary and stuff like that. I've just been reading all this on Twitter. I've been reading this off people that I highly respect as well. Been saying it as well. More I think about it, though, we got to get back to winning games and controlling games and playing at a higher level. So maybe Harvey does need to come out, because if you go to 4-2-3-1, Harvey can't play. So you've got to play. You'll play Thiago and Fabinho as the pivot, and you play Carvalho in the 10. We've got to figure something out, because going and just playing 4-3-3 again, with the way it is set up at the moment, Salah not in the game because he's out too wide for whoever's picking. We don't know it. We don't know if it's tactics. Salah's doing this on his own or what it is. Salah's playing too wide. The three in the midfield have got no energy to press the ball. So if you don't press the ball and you play a high line, you're going to get exposed all the time, no matter who you're playing. So we got to change it up. I do. Do I think Klopp can change it up and do it? Yeah. But all this has been about, I don't want Klopp out, but Klopp has got to start taking some responsibility. We can't all just sit here as fans and just blame FSG all the time because they don't give him this player, they don't give him that player. Now, my favourite one, and it's still on Twitter now, if FSG just gave Liverpool the money like West Ham did this summer, Klopp would have 2 more Premier Leagues and 2 more Champions League by now. Forgetting the fact that if we spent more, Man City would spend twice as much to keep them away from us. Because if Pep saw Liverpool spending 200 million this summer to come after us, and they're the team I fear the most, we're going to spend 200 extra more million than they are. Yeah, everyone thinks they're clairvoyant and think Klopp would win more trophies and stuff like that if FSG gave more money. What they're not thinking is Man City ain't going to just stand still. They're going to spend even more to stay away from us. So people got to get that out of their system first. That's ridiculous comments. I hate that comment all the time. But yes, FSG are to blame. They probably should be giving Klopp a little bit more in this transfer market. We do lack midfielders. The Artemelo one's a weird one because now Klopp's going on about that we did scout Artemelo. So
he's bound to say that though, isn't it?
It's getting all more confusing. But if he does want to say it, don't say it if he doesn't think it's true. Because the problem is when he says it, it's going to come back on him because he's the manager. He's the face of the club.
It could be true though, and it's just on a list of players.
It probably is true. We probably got a list of about 30 players we're looking
at.
It's how
scouts scout, isn't it?
And he might be number 29.
You have a list of players.
Yeah, probably on the list.
If we got 30 players and he's number 29, they can officially say
the list.
Scouting, but
Hendo gets injured. You go through the list and you go, okay, it's too late in the window now. This person's gone that team, that one's got that team. They want 50 mil. This geezer's on our list still. What's he doing? He ain't played. Let's get him in. But I think I have to reiterate, and I'm not even trying to stick up for Klopp, and I know you're not. I know you don't mean it like that, Jay. But this thing where Klopp has to take responsibility, bro, I don't understand where he hasn't took responsibility, bro. It's the Klopp fans. But
no, that's what I'm on about. That's what.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. I'll just react because I know, I've never heard Klopp say after the game it was all FSG's fault and it was all the players' fault. He never says it, bro. You know what I mean? He always says we and it's a club. It's like what we know we have to do better. And then if something goes wrong, it's like, I know, well, I've got this wrong. I have to go back to the drawing board. And the problem is, it does seem like the change of tactics or whatever feels like because the results ain't going the right way. It's almost learning on the job for the players to do different tactics. That's why no game seems the same. You know what I mean? We had Elliott and Carvalho last game. This game, we only have Elliott and Milner. The game before, it's a little bit different every time. But I think everybody knows that you go back to basics, and when all is not working, you go back to basics, you stick together, and then you just scrap it out, bro. None of us are gonna of course we'll care in the end about watching good football and that. But as I just said to Cav when you ran and kicked the thief in the head, but as I said, we don't always play good football when we win stuff. And that last season the football wasn't great, bro. The FA Cup and League Cup final was shit. Yeah. The both shit, bro. The only good thing about it was the penalties, bro. Because in the Chelsea one in the League Cup, I watched Lukaku score a goal and his big toe was offside, bro. Probably should have counted. Yeah. The Champions League final where we couldn't score, and everyone's like, "Well, no, back post and that." You do realize that Benzema scored before half time, and they made up a rule that he couldn't keep the goal. There was some rule we've never heard of. So but we scrapped it out, and we end up with 2 trophies on it. Let's just scrap it out each game, 90 minutes as it comes, and get 3 points and move on. And then bit by bit, people start picking up confidence as well. Salah's a confident guy because he likes numbers, innit? Once he starts scoring more goals, he's like, hold on, this Haaland geezer. And Haaland will outscore him, but he's like, I ain't going to let him just do this. And he'll start catching up with him. That's what he done with Son last season. And Núñez gets a few goals and he's like, yo, I want to be part of this. You can see he's passionate about playing for Liverpool already. He loves it. And you start getting that. Diaz, who everyone was worried about scoring goals, scored a few goals already. It looks like he will get to 10, 15 goals, Diaz, because he'll just keep trying. He'll keep trying in these games and that. Bobby's looked a little bit better. Today he was off. You know what I mean? The only good thing I seen today was there's a few times people tried to take the ball off him and he retained it really good. But apart from that, didn't offer too much. And that's where we've always said horses for courses, and you pick certain players for certain games. It's hard to do that when your team isn't fit, obviously. But as Jamie said, he's right. Everyone doing all this FSG business is kind of one, it's pointless now anyway because transfer window's done. I thought it would have finished. And two, it's the players we've got, bro. We just sound like we're making excuses, and we don't allow Manu and all these other teams to have these excuses, bro. You know what I mean? We don't allow it. We banter them for it, and that. So,
All right.
These are our players. We love our team. Let's go for it, bro.
I just want to get this done because it gets on my tits. It really does. Now, Liverpool will go buy Tuchemeni this summer. Klopp's even admitted it. He basically said the player that went around with it,
did.
Right? So Liverpool tried to buy Tuchemeni this season. That was going to cost us 60-odd million, yeah? We were buying Darwin Núñez this season as well. And that's another 65 million. We bought Carvalho. That's 5.5 million. Ramsey was 10 million. And we got Arthur on a loan.
Yep.
And with a permanent buy for 35 million. So all in all, we spent like 90 million this summer, right? We would have spent over 150 million if they got Tuchemeni in. Right? That's the player Liverpool wanted. So they would have spent 150 million this summer, which is perfectly fine. That's a massive amount of money. My problem with it all is that as soon as Tuchemeni weren't available, the option B was obviously Bellingham. That was Klopp's option B. We spoke to Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund has spoke about it and said there's a Premier League team that kept pestering them all summer. We know who it was. It was us, right?
Yeah.
And we wanted Jude Bellingham. They told us not for sale, not till next summer. Come back next year. Liverpool didn't have another midfielder they wanted. Klopp wanted Tuchemeni and Jude Bellingham. I think he wanted Tuchemeni this summer, possibly Jude Bellingham next summer, and then you got a new midfield for the following year. That's what he wanted. Unfortunately, Tuchemeni preferred Real Madrid. Once a player prefers to go, like I've heard people say, well, if they just give them more wages, so you want a player who's just wanting to play for money. No, if he wants to go to another club and he's got his heart on that club, you got to give him 100 grand more just to come to our club. So he's playing for money. I don't want that. No one should want that. You want a player to come to your club because they want to play for you. You know, it shouldn't be about the size of the wallet at the end of the day.
You're right, bro.
Yeah. So the money's been spent. And I keep saying this as well. You've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's been at our club for 4 years, injured for 4 years. Keita's been injured for 4 years. James Milner signed a new contract at 36 years of age when, you know, looking back on it now, he probably shouldn't have. So you've got 3 midfielders there. And then you've got Elliott, Carvalho, Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho. Where is there room for a new midfielder if you don't get rid of one? One would have to go. 3 would have to go. Now we've got Arthur in. We've got 9 midfielders. 9. We've got 9 midfielders. And 3 of them are always injured. Well, 2 of them anyway, in Keita and Ox. Keita and Ox are always injured. They've been injured for 4 years. The club can get rid of them. You don't have to wait for them to be sold. This is also where I blame the middlemen. I keep saying this. It's not just FSG and it's not just Jurgen Klopp. It's the middlemen. It's the transfer committee. It's Mike Gordon. It's Julian Ward. It was Michael Edwards when he was still here. I blame Michael Edwards for a lot of it. People going, Jamie, you're mad. He did such great deals and all that. Yes, he also stopped us selling players because we asked for too much money for average footballers. And teams started to figure us out and go, no, we're not falling for that anymore. So we couldn't get rid of players.
For so long that worked though, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you look at the likes of
and then people
Dom
realised, hang on,
Solanke and
they sold
stuff.
Solanke for 25 million, made great money.
Yeah.
Why are we falling for this? And they stopped. That's why there's players at our club that couldn't leave. Put too much on Origi. Klopp's never wanted to play Origi. Origi's been here the whole time Klopp's been here. Klopp didn't rate him, never wanted to play him, never wanted to use him. He was an emergency. He was the candle when there's a power cut. That is what Origi was, the Liverpool Football Club. He was a candle when there was a power cut. Came useful for 5 minutes or so.
Such a weird analogy.
He should have gone. He should have gone years ago. But we keep players because the middlemen, the transfer committee, are partly to blame. They're the ones who come up with this structure. As I keep telling you, John Henry and Tom Werner know nothing about football and how football's run. That's why they hired these middlemen to run the club who know about football. So we should all be... That's why I'm saying don't just blame John W. Henry. He's the money man. But he didn't wake up one morning and go to Jurgen Klopp, right, we're only buying 25-year-olds. We're only buying people with good mentalities and we've got to meet their mum and dad. You know, it's just... That one, you know...
It's because the both ambitions don't align with each other. That's why.
Exactly.
FSG's ambition and Klopp's ambition are two different things, and they don't mind. They don't mind Klopp having that ambition. They'll just let him know that this is what you've got to work with to get there, and if you accept it, accept it. If you don't, then it's fine because we just need you to get top 4, bro. And so that for that reason, it's like it don't really matter if you get rid of Ox and Thingy and Naby because you should still be able to get top 4. They don't want to fork out money for new players. They don't need to really, but yeah, man, this is what happens. Very rarely do ambitions of the owners and the clubs align with each other because usually the owners who come in and buy a football club ain't football fans. So why the fuck would they care apart from their money? Also, like everyone says FSG, and usually they're talking about John Henry, but you know they've got like 28 investors in Liverpool, bro. It's not like he's the majority shareholder. There's like 28 members, bro. Bro, things have to be spoken about.
Let's say this summer's plan went to plan and we got Tchouaméni at the start of it.
Yeah.
Do you think having Tchouaméni for these 7 games that we've played this season changes how we've been playing?
I think he puts more. He's a tremendous footballer.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we've all
Milner
just
won't be
spoke
playing.
about...
Milner won't play a single game, and that's the problem. Milner looks old now, like proper old. And do you know he's been run? Did you see that stat? He's been run past more than any player in Europe. Europe,
I mean,
not just the Premier League. Europe.
That's suspicious still, man. Where did that come from, bro?
No
Everton
midfielder.
come with that stat, bro.
No midfielder has been run past more than James Milner in Europe.
He ain't even played every game.
That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
They're mugging Millie off, man.
No, I refuse to believe it's not true.
Me too, man. I think Fab been run past more
midfielder, not just midfielder.
Oh, okay.
Trent's been run past. And do you know who second was, by the way?
Fab.
Yeah. So the 2 in Europe are both Liverpool midfielders. Tells you everything you need to know. Tells you everything you need to know because we've got no mobility and no pace in midfield.
I think, Cavi, I know why you asked that question because it's the same question you could ask if everyone was fit. Forget Tchouaméni. If everyone was just fit, would it made a difference? And I think it would have. So there are like...
Kind of, but I just think like every time we go back to FSG, it's about we've not made suitable enough signings. Well, in everybody's eyes, Tchouaméni was number 1 or Jude, right? Pick whichever one you want. We was only getting 1 this summer. So that would have satisfied 95% of the Liverpool fan base. But I just think, having watched these 7 games this season, if I'd have took Elliott out, right, and put Jude in or Tchouaméni in, I still don't think it makes... It'll make a difference, but it still doesn't make up for all the other deficiencies that we've had, i.e. Trent not working at all, you know, Virgil and the high line, you know. Yeah, it would be better because he's a fantastic footballer. There's nothing to say he won't come in and like not settle that well or not learn the tactics that well. I mean, loads of players have come in under Klopp and not even played the first 7 games. Yeah. So that could have happened. So the point I'm trying to get to is when we talk about FSG, yeah, great, but we have to really differentiate between the results that we're getting at the minute and signings.
Because I agree with that because I said to you about that, like every time we finish the result, you can't find no clips of me mentioning FSG because I'm watching individual mistakes will have nothing to do. Like FSG not investing in something has nothing to do with Trent wanting to run back, has nothing to do with Fab being ran past. I always think there's a balance, but at the same time, if you want to go at the owners, then you'd have to have Klopp put out the best team he's got and play the best tactics he's got. And if it doesn't work, then you're like, this is because of the owners, because we're doing everything we can here. That's why Arsenal so mad at Kroenke, because they used all their resources and they still weren't good enough. But whereas us, it's like we got injuries, and on top of that, there's some managerial stuff where we're like, I don't know about that change. And then you have to start wondering, what are people seeing, what we're not seeing, obviously, and that is their job, so there probably is stuff. Because the team still. Every time I see training and that or anything away from the pitch, and I'm on about like within these games we've played already, I'm expecting to see like miserable faces and that, because I'm like, oh, maybe there's no together, and then I see them, I'm like, nah, bro, these like all look happy and they're still chilling and that, bro. I don't know what's. They look very happy, bro. So I don't know what's going on, bro. But because even Salah, like, it's almost like there's something wrong with him, because I watched Salah come off, and obviously anytime Salah leaves the pitch, and it's not because he scored a hat-trick and he wants to rest him, the camera keeps going on him. And I'm watching him and Bobby sitting next to each other on the sideline. I'm waiting to see Salah like kick a bottle or something, or like drop his head. He's just chilling, wiping some sweat off his face. I'm like, all right, you cool then? What's going on, bro? Like,
yeah, feels like we're still in pre-season.
And you remember Salah last season against
I just need to.
It was against Man City, and he got injured in it. He had a little feel in his hamstring, and he just walked off happy, bro. Like, my hamstring's gone.
I just need to chat to this fella.
Go on, Jay. So kick him out the window as well.
No, we are not FSG propaganda. We agree that FSG have got issues, right, and need to do things. But what we're saying is, it's not 100% them. This ain't a Mike Ashley Newcastle situation. You know, this. Do you think? Does anyone literally sitting here right now and watching think Jurgen Klopp's unhappy with FSG? Like literally. Do you reckon he's?
Well, he's not unhappy enough. He's not overly unhappy, is he? He might have his little grievance.
Everyone has said that over their bosses.
Yeah.
What did you ask, Jamie? Is Klopp unhappy?
Yeah.
I think he's unhappy with what's going on in the team, but not like
with the owners. I'm saying, is he unhappy with the owners?
Oh no, he made it. I mean, he said today. They asked him. Do you see when they asked about Tuchel? They asked him about Tuchel being sacked, and he said, "Would you be worried about your job?" And that, and he said,
no.
He said, "No, I don't need to worry about stuff." He said, "It's not like that with our owners." He said, "They're quite calm actually. They don't expect me to find people to blame about what's going wrong. They just expect me to fix it."
He actually took an opportunity to in some ways compliment the owners when he could have just nullified
He's done it when they asked about Scott Parker as well. He said our owners wouldn't do that. He said that's why it's important to have good owners.
Exactly. So. This is what I'm getting at. So fans and yourself, Drunk Vigo, you might be like hate FSG, you want to rip their guts out. All love to you. Fair enough. I don't care. But at the end of the day, if our manager is completely happy with them, and then when he's got a chance to say anything about him in an interview and he don't, and he commended the club for giving him time and letting him basically look. Klopp runs the club. Let's face it. You know, Jurgen Klopp runs the club. He is the club. He does everything, and that's what Jurgen loves. That's why Jurgen would never go to a Real Madrid or a PSG because he'd be there 2 years.
Yeah,
because it takes Jurgen time to get his teams going, and he wouldn't have that PSG and Real Madrid and stuff like that. That's why it wouldn't work for him there. He'd be gone in 2 years. You know, that's why he loves FSG and the way they give him time. Klopp can do what he wants. They're never sacking Klopp.
Yeah, they're not on the phone to him all the time, bro. They leave him to do his job, innit?
Yeah, they're probably mates, you know. So this is what I'm saying. When you look at it, that's why I keep saying they're all to blame. All of them. When things are going bad, they're all to blame. When things are going good, they're all getting the thumbs up. All of them. That's how it is with our team, in my opinion. I'm sick of like our FSG are so bad. I don't see nothing on this side is a problem.
Most of the FSG stuff is speculation to want them out in it. A lot of the stuff is speculation.
Jurgen's not a problem. The coaching's not a problem. Any of that's not a problem. It's all because FSG doesn't give him enough to do what he can with, which is bollocks because they maybe don't, if you're looking at it in a Man City kind of way. But also, you've got to actually, FSG and Klopp just want this team to finish in the top 4 every year. That's their aims. Top 4 every year. We've done our job.
Just to get us ready for the Super League, bro.
Yeah, so it is. Let's get everyone ready for the Super League. That's right.
That's what it is, bro.
But this is all it is. So if you go blame, you got to blame everyone. When everything's bad, I blame them all. I'm not yes, FSG could do more, but yes, at the same time, Jurgen could do more. You know, coaching staff could do more. The flaming physios and doctors could do more because the injuries should be questioned. You know, when Allison was getting injured every week in training because he kept diving weird, that's a training issue. Needs to be spoken
Did you hear
about.
Did you hear what Michael Owen said on BT after the game? And
No,
I don't know
turned it
how
off.
true this is. I've
I
not.
don't even
looked
know how
into
you listen to his voice, but carry on.
I only listened to a bit, but he was saying that, and I assume he's done research on this, right? Could be wrong. He was saying that most of Liverpool's injuries come when they're actually not got a midweek game. So when they're playing midweek games, and obviously the 2 days between, they're just doing recovery sessions. They actually don't pick up as many injuries as when they play weekend to weekend, say. So
100%.
that instantly makes me think, what the fuck are they doing on this training pitch? Because all I'm seeing is rondos every week, right? So if they're getting injured in these rondos, then cut it out.
Well, that's all. Klopp trains them hard, though, don't he?
What
Klopp
is it
always
Brendan
says,
used to do? Fucking that heading volleyball thing or
Klopp
whatever
and
it is all the
Brendan.
time.
Klopp and Brendan are quite similar in their training methods. That's why their players get injured a lot. It's because they put a lot in training. They believe everything is developed on the train. Klopp has said it himself. Meaning, I'm not dating this. Klopp has said development happens on the training ground. That is where everyone develops.
That's a factor, isn't it? That's
Klopp's big into that as well. Klopp is massive in training, and he tries to train like they do when they play. And if we play at 8 p.m. at night, they train at 8 p.m. at night, don't they? They play at 12:30 in the afternoon. They train at 12:30 in the afternoon. And he tries to recruit what they're doing on the playing pitch to what they're doing on training pitch. So it's, and that's why they pick up the knocks. That's why they pick up the knocks.
Liverpool are doing like double, triple sessions where like your likes of Brighton's and other like Premier League clubs and stuff, they're doing a session in the morning and they're back home by 2 o'clock. You know,
I think our weirdest thing is people getting injured at the same time, and it more than actual injuries. Because if you went through the Premier and actually looked at everyone else's injuries, they do get them probably the same amount.
But everyone gets injured at the same time.
Yeah, as is at the same time, man.
As soon as Ox gets injured, Naby's next week, and as soon as Naby's done, Thiago's the week after.
Yeah,
that's just.
I do wonder though, if you took out the players that are injury prone from the team, and then looked at the injuries, I bet it wouldn't look that bad. Like seriously,
probably not.
Like
probably not.
we keep counting flipping Naby and Ox when people.
It's because it's the same players every season.
Yeah, well, if you take them out, you never hear that Virgil's injured apart from when he got took out. Ali was injured them a few times, but it's actually like 4 times altogether, and one of them was like his leg.
The others were training.
Trent's hardly ever injured. Was never injured pretty much.
I don't know. Is Trent injured now? Because
Curtis had the eye injury before and then got injured after. That's it.
Well, hang on a minute. When you just said that, Savage, what's happened to Curtis? Because he was on the bench the other day and he's match fit, and now he's disappeared off the face of the earth. Does anyone know where he is?
I have no idea, bro.
What's happened to him?
I mean, we should feel frustrated as well, because Curtis could have actually, if he was fit for these 7 games, he could have really helped out this squad.
He's fit
like you won't be seeing
ball retention's perfect for these games, bro.
Yeah, you'd see him instead of Milner. Everyone's moaning at Milner, right? You'd see Curtis instead if he was actually available.
And I don't remember ever having to say about Curtis, he looks lazy. Could be wrong, but I don't remember watching him and thinking this guy's not trying.
What do we do about Trent though? Before we leave, what do we do about Trent?
Because
I said at the opening of the video, Trent doesn't look like he wants to play right back. He doesn't act like he wants to play right back either, because his defending is atrocious now, and it's lazy as well, and he makes no effort to get back. Did you see earlier when they scored their, I think it was their third goal or something like that, when he just let the winger just go past him and he went like that?
Yeah, it was the 1-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Just clobber him. Take the foul.
He's trying to do his best John Travolta meme impression,
he doesn't want to play right back. Everyone just play me. I'm sort of done with it now, where I'm thinking, let's just try him in midfield, because he plays there anyway.
We're going to get back to the midfield, bro.
He's playing there anyway. Get Calvin Ramsey in this bloody team. Get him at right back, and just play. Trent.
If you get Calvin Ramsey fit and he plays at right back, I want Trent on the bench, bro.
Yeah,
because what's he gonna add to midfield?
strain. Oh, big up. I didn't know he still had a strain.
Yeah.
Injured again. Jesus Christ.
After Gomez's performance tonight, you need to be careful about how you manage him, because he's the sort of guy that you either throw him straight back in and let him get over it, or if you don't put him back in and he has to sit on it, it could play on his mind. So I think you could kill two birds with one stone here at the weekend. Play
Play him right
Matip
back.
in and play him right back. Yeah.
Gomez is way better at right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last season, I heard people like I made a point before they played him at right back, saying play him, and the people saying to me, "You can't play at right back." I'm like, I watched him play there, bro. He's good at right back.
And then he
He's
put in
actually
some
better for him.
decent crosses when he played as well.
Yeah,
at
and the
right
thing
back.
is, though,
And it's
he's
not as
better.
much as it's not like spam and quantity. It's usually quality, or I'm not going to do it and I'll
Yeah,
retain
because
the ball.
Yeah.
he's not the best passer of a ball, the best crosser of a ball. He's only going to do it when he needs to do it. So you're not going to get all them spam crosses.
Mm.
But look, I know this might sound mad because of his performance today, but he's better. He's better defensively than Trent anyway. So
Yeah, he's
and I don't. Matip looked more assured when he came on, didn't he? I think if Kanate was
he
fit,
he made one mistake though, but after
yeah,
that,
but I'll give it.
that
I
goal
mean,
what they
everyone.
scored was his fault, man.
Yeah, true. But I think when Kanate is fit, I think Virgil might be rested. Because we can't rest Virgil at the moment because Kanate is not fit. And Kanate are playing Virgil's position. So once Kanate's
like
fit,
we give Robbo a bit of a bly, you do have to give Virgil a little bit as well, because the guy plays every single
Before
game.
Virgil got
he
injured,
needs to be
before he
rested.
got injured against Everton, played 92 games in a row for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then since he come back off his injury, he played all the games again. So
He just needs a little break. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm.
Yeah, we play a lot of football. He just needs a little break. And once Kanate's fit, you can play Kanate and Matip there. And there's two good centre backs. Virgil can have a little break, but
I kind
He
of
has
feel
the
the same
same.
about our season, we just got battered and that. I don't know.
look, we lost to a very good side, and like I keep saying, there is nothing wrong with losing to a far better team sometimes.
But did they score one good goal? Like,
But
what
what I was
they
about
didn't
to
score
say
one
is,
good goal.
what I'm about to say is, though, the problem is, I said at the top of the video, look, I don't mind losing. Losing happens in sport. It's part of sport. You lose, yeah. But it all depends how you lose. If you lose to a team that's just that inch better than you that game, but you put in all the effort and it was a close game, I can go fair enough. We lost, but we played really well. They were just a little bit better than us on the day, right?
Yeah.
You walk away from it. You still have your criticisms because you can have your criticisms where you won and lost the match, obviously. But you can just go old round. If it was 4-3 today and it was a really tight, quality game of football, you go, all right, it was 4-3. We didn't get smashed. We played so well, but we lost. I remember when we played Barcelona, we lost 3-0. We outplayed Barcelona for that whole game.
It's a good example.
The media in Barcelona actually put it in the paper that no one has played Barcelona like that in the Nou Camp for years. Completely
it's just a Messi. Messi just turned up in that
Messi
game.
was just decided to turn on his magic wand and took over the game. But we absolutely destroyed. We actually sort in a way played better football at the Nou Camp than we did at Anfield a week later, which is.
I was at that game. Pissed me off, bro.
Which is kind of mad. So you can. That's why Albianza went right. We just lost to the greatest footballer I've ever seen. Basically, tore us apart. But other than that, we completely outplayed Barcelona at Nou Camp. So Albianza, we lost, but we were just. But this game, we lost without a fight. Napoli were excellent, but all their goals are easy. We gave them every single goal, and that's what irritated me the most. The penalty could have been avoided because I don't know what Milner was doing. The Van Dijk tackle on Osimhen, he had to do something.
Well done, Alisson, by the way, for that save, bro.
Yeah, and Alisson, exactly. And everything was avoidable and that's what Klopp's going to look at. Klopp's going to look back at this game and go, yeah, we were crap. We were terrible. We were off it completely. But everything was avoidable today. All the goals were avoidable.
I think decisiveness in this game stops us from getting battered and potentially we get a draw at the game or win it because
I'm happy with drawing.
Gomez Dalin on the ball. I can literally tell he's not trying to be like, it's not like he's trying to be flashy with the ball. It's just like, I'm going, because remember, he was the ball playing centre back before. That's why, like, Rio Ferdinand used to be like, oh, he's going to be the next big thing. He's England's, but because he was like how Rio Ferdinand was, get the ball, play it and stuff. He's still trying to do that, but it's like he ain't figured it out. So once that Ocean man took the ball off him and ran round Alisson and missed, after that he should have clued up. I'm not doing that again.
Just
next time he does it's by the byline.
Yeah.
Then Trent don't help him at all anyway. And then the 1-2-1 is like the worst football I've seen since a week ago against Newcastle. It's the exact same goal, by the way. The exact same. And then obviously the one after half time, where I think we were the better team second half, Matip ran over to the geezer and told the defenders behind it, "I've got this, don't worry," and then let him cross the ball in. And I don't know if you seen after the goal went in, Robbo shouted at him because Robbo was saying to them like, "Stay tight in it, get close."
Everyone get tight. Everyone get tight.
Usually, if man says if somebody runs over to the geezer like, "Nah, don't worry, I got it," and you go back to get your position, you let him cross the ball in. I was like, "Fuck's sake, man!" And I let Matip off because he doesn't really do it often, and he just come on the pitch. But like, I just want to be behind. Hey, that was going to sound a bit fruity still. I just want to, support. I was going to say I want to be behind these boys and the parts.
The cup end.
I just want they would run. They would run then, Sammy.
I just want to support our team, bro, and have fun, man. Fucking hell, bro. This done me in today, man.
It's just miserable, isn't it? It was that's what I'm saying. This is a terrible loss. There was the goals we gave up were just really bad.
We'd be very Liverpool like to win the Champions League now.
I'm just hoping once everyone gets fit and ready and we get going, I just want to look. It won't actually shock me if we beat Wolves. It won't shock me on Saturday at 3:00 we beat Wolves. City lose to Tottenham and we go 2 points behind City in the league.
We're better than every team in the Prem apart from Man City.
Yeah, we just got to start
at 80 or 90%. We could still beat everyone or draw with them. So we just need to at least get to that level where we're just flipping. And we spend so much time on the midfield and the defense and ripping them a new one every time. Listen, I don't want to. What's the forward line there? Like, Salah, come on, man. I tried to just say the forward line, but Diaz is doing this thing, and like Bobby's been scoring, and I obviously didn't play that well today. But Salah, can I just see something, bro?
Well,
do you know what you need to do? We need Mo Salah to do a CM Punk press conference. That's what we need. That's what we need to do. So it takes our mind off everything. By the way, CM Punk's been sacked. I don't know if anyone knows that. But it's that's what we need. You need a CM Punk moment with Salah in the press conference and just blame everyone but himself.
Salah needs one bad boy goal, man, and then the confidence starts building.
Well, has anyone spoke about his chance yet?
Yeah, me and Cav did.
When Trent put that beautiful pass to him on his left foot.
I said to Cav straight away, if that was Nunes, he would have been tore up, bro.
Yeah, and Salah only has to touch it and shoot, and he's scoring. It was a beautiful pass by Trent on his left. It's one of Trent's best things. I will give it to Trent. Trent is fantastic on his left foot.
He's playing some through balls in the first half, bro, into the box and that.
Yeah, to be fair, I put it on Twitter. The first half hour, Trent was probably our best player. In a weird way, I know he's crap defensively, but offensively, he's almost there. He was probably our best sort of player. I mean, that ball with his left foot to Salah, that Salah just completely. I don't know what's going on with Mo.
I would much rather that Trent does the right back stuff and Salah's the one who does what he wants than Trent does what he wants. Because if Salah does what he wants, he will score a goal, bro. He'll just find himself in mad positions and that. Trent does what he wants. He has to be perfect every time. And that means he has to be perfect defensively as well. And I can't count on him to be perfect defensively because positioning-wise, if he doesn't want to run back, you need to be in the right position. And he's not. And he likes to watch his own pass, innit? Yeah. So once he's hit it, he's like a golfer, man. He's watching the pass. I'm like, bro, this comes back the other way. You're screwed. And I really don't want to come on every stream sounding like I'm trying to destroy the kid, but I'm doing it in the nicest possible way because I don't think he's shit. I think he's great at what he does. He's incredible at passing the ball, but it's not good enough, bro. If Trent ends up being remembered just for passing the ball, he doesn't go down as one of the best right backs ever. He goes down as somebody. Danny Alves can pass the ball and defend. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I get totally.
So he has to do better, bro. Because at the moment, bro, you're not better than Gary Neville. You know, like that. So sort yourself out, bro. He's got to do more, man. Care about the team, and I know you're a Liverpool fan, you're a Scouse boy, and I know you care, bro. And I've been there, bro. You know what I mean? I told you when I got moved to fucking left back just before I stopped playing football and that. I wasn't a left back, bro. but I was incredible at defending, and I couldn't get up the top of the pitch. I was blowing. I decided to just defend them. Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? You can moan at me for not overlapping and that, but no one's getting past me. And yeah, that's what it is, bro. So Trent, just find out. You know what your best trait is. It's offensively, innit? But less of the quantity in that. You know what I mean? Let's recycle the ball a little bit and stop doing that stupid crossfield ball without looking, because it doesn't need to be like that every time, man. Just relax.
We might have to whisper it, right? And I'm gonna whisper it, but like Nunes, like I'm not gonna lie, like I am a little bit worried. Like I'm trying to keep the faith that when this Liverpool team get back firing and creating chances, that this guy's just going to be an absolute goal scorer. But like
we
from
don't
what
play to his strengths.
From what I'm seeing though, like
come on, play
it's a little bit worrying. Like at one point today, he picked up the ball on the left and then just like ran into somebody.
Yeah, but he does. The thing is with Darwin Núñez, he doesn't want to do that stuff. He just wants to get on the end of things and score.
I'm so hoping you're right.
But we're trying to make him. This is my problem with Liverpool when we buy players in. My problem with Liverpool when we buy players in is that we try and make them something they're not, and that's my problem with it. We did it with Naby Keita. We're now doing it with Darwin. We try and make players something they're not. We're trying to make Darwin Núñez like a Jota type, like a Bobby type. I don't want Darwin Núñez involved in play. All I want Darwin Núñez to do is use his pace, run the channels, and get off people's shoulders, play on the defender's shoulders.
Jamie is right, man. Cav, you've done him dirty then. You can't say that when Pac-Man's in the chat, bro.
Pac-Man just reminded me of that other moment where he was literally in the box, he beat a man, and then the guy was on the floor, and then he just chipped back and ran into him again.
I know, I saw that.
Nah, man, leave him alone, man.
When this guy gets the ball at
but I keep saying it reminds me of Didier Drogba when he first joined Chelsea. This is what Drogba was like when he first joined Chelsea. Absolutely atrocious, and then he became an absolute beast. So
when he gets the ball at the minute, I say to myself, just don't do anything stupid. Just don't add to
do you see the best chances he has, though?
Reel.
Do you see when he looks at his best, though? When he gets the ball in the channels, that's when he looks at his best. He's an instinct player.
How often is he going to get to run onto balls?
Well, why did we buy him then? Because that's what he does. Why did we buy him then?
Let's be honest, though. Let's step back a little bit, bro. We're on the 7th game of the season. He's been banned for 3 of them. One of them he played half in.
He's only played 4 games.
The start is so bad.
He's played 2 games, bro, on minutes, probably less.
Take away the Community Shield. Like,
come on, man.
He's been crap. He's been crap and he headbutted someone. Like, it's been a bad start. I hope he comes good. I want
to agree, but like, when I take, Jamie's kind of, because if I take away the fact of how bad we've been, if this is any other striker coming to the Prem, it would be too early for me to care. Because I'm like, you know what strikers are like, but once to score, they're normally on it. So, I don't know, man.
He looked like an absolute beast when he played us.
Yeah, because he didn't get involved in build-up play. We're telling him to get involved in build-up play, and that's not what he can do.
I disagree. I seen this man defending, build-up play, tapping.
Not the build-up play. Our build-up play is totally different, though.
I seen him do everything against us.
Our build-up play is back to goal, stay deep, play 1-2s at people, and then run in the wide areas and don't get in the box. That's the problem with our build. With Benfica, his build-up play was get hold of a ball, play it to someone, and then run into the box and get on the end of it. Our build-up play is completely different.
Cav, wouldn't you say then, to be fair, because what Jamie's saying is kind of right, yeah, wouldn't you say then, if you're saying that which is true, you've seen him do all these things already, you've seen him destroy us when we played against him.
So it means he's a good player.
Then that means he can do it, isn't it?
I know. I think he can, and I've said this before. Like, if Darwin will score goals in his career, I don't know if it'll be at Liverpool. I certainly hope it is. But wherever he goes after Liverpool, he will bang, guaranteed, because that's the type of play. He might go abroad, and abroad might suit him better than the Prem. We don't know, but I know he's got that goal scoring quality. But like, I know he's not played a lot, but I do kind of expect when he receives the ball up top to be able to control it like confidently and then lay it off again, where everything just seems to be a bit like.
Wouldn't you be more worried? You are right with that, yeah. But wouldn't you be more worried, to both of us, yeah? And I'm not trying to make excuses. So anyone thinks I'm not being honest. I'm just giving the boy a blind man. Literally just got here. But if everyone was firing on all cylinders, everyone was playing well. If Salah was playing great, if Bobby was playing great, if Diaz was playing good, to be fair, and Jota was playing great, and he was the only one playing shit, I'd be more worried because then I'd be like, our team's playing perfect. Thiago's doing all the passing, Trent's throwing all these balls, and he's just fucking up. But because we're all shit at the moment, it's almost like, you know, when they put Arthur on the pitch earlier, I knew that he was going to come on and do nothing because you put him on when we're 4-1 down. Like, what you want him to do? He passed a few balls around.
Yeah, but if we're getting a man that can only bag and contribute when we're playing well, we might as well have bought Ivan Toney.
Well, I said that to you the other day, but like, but what I mean is, I agree, you're 100% right. But this is literally the start of his career.
It's too early.
So if this was halfway through the season, he'd been playing banging, and then he just stopped, and it's like, when we play rubbish, you can't score a goal. I would 100% agree. But I'm just meaning for his confidence, nobody wants to come into like a shit show straight away. You know what I mean? Of course, you want to show off what you're doing and that, but you know, it's one of them ones, isn't it? Because some people do the opposite. Some people we don't expect much from, and they come in and start banging and stuff like that. Because I know that most people didn't think that about Jota. I was a big fan of Jota at Wolves. So when he came in, I'm like, hopefully he can play the same. And he got all them goals. But you are right. And it won't be hard to show. Like, he probably won't even need the whole season to show if he's going to be good enough for Liverpool or not. You'd be able to figure it out. Once he has a run of like 10 games and that, we're like, okay, then this geezer's not doing anything. And I don't mind if he had a run of 10 games, scored 4 or 5 goals, but he contributed in other ways on the pitch, made himself a nuisance and some assists and laid the ball off and that. You are right. I do know what you mean, though. It looks like, you know, them old school shin pads with the ankle pads on it. It looks like he's bouncing off it, innit? So
It looks like he's wearing full size shin pads, you know, with the ankle protectors and everything.
Yeah, the Cobra Kai gear and that, bro. The sensei's wearing
I understand like what Kev's saying. I understand what Kev's saying.
It's a mix of both, and it's going to be even worse now. You're going to see even more because we're shit. So it's like we're looking for a savior at the moment. Somebody do something. Egyptian boy's got some like golden bits in his hair and that, and he's chilling. You know what I mean? Still in shape and that, but he ain't doing nothing. So like, hey, Nunes, do something, bro. And he's just headbutting guys and shouting at Newcastle fans, bro. So.
He's probably thinking, you know, like his expectations coming into this Liverpool team must have been so high, and then he's rocked up. Trent can't even fucking reach him with a cross. Like Diaz, he's probably looking at Diaz, going, "What the frick are you doing, man? You're running one way, then the other way, then the other."
Probably didn't even know who Milner was.
Yeah, stop cutting in. Just cross me the ball. And then he's thinking, I'll play with Salah, like one of the world's best right wingers. Does nothing, just chilling on the side. He's probably thinking to himself, what the fuck?
Guys, I found a reason why we didn't perform today. I've just found out 4 of our starting 11. This it. And Jurgen.
No, they do a Liverpool one.
I'm not having no disrespect to Dua Lipa on this channel, bro.
Yeah, this is why we didn't play well.
That Klopp one is messed up. Oh my god, bro.
Even the Diaz one. The Diaz one.
Look at that. I just love Mo. Everyone looks like Mo, don't they?
I respect Dua Lipa, man. This is not fun for me, bro.
Do you know who that's meant to be?
Yeah, I know who it's meant to be.
Darwin Núñez.
Respect Dua Lipa, bro.
Anyone seen that Dua Lipa live video she did with that fella on the mic stick?
I watched Dua Lipa live. Hey, come on.
She is great.
She's great, man.
Yeah, I won't say too much about her I forget I'm on the internet sometimes, but yeah.
I'm just seeing Darwin Núñez now. That's all I'm seeing.
She was a sweet one.
Do you ever have stupid thoughts? Like, you know, how many times I've seen Núñez? Yeah. The amount of times I've seen Núñez and I thought he'd probably play better if he had his hair down, you know? No logic whatsoever.
I used to think that about wrestlers and that. They come back with their beard shaved and they're like, that's why he's shit. He's got his beard shaved and that.
I think because I'm picturing like Edison Cavani kind of vibes, and I'm thinking, just let your hair down.
When he has his hair down, though, like when I seen him in training, he looks like he's like somebody straightened it. He looks mad.
Nah, we can't.
He looks like a stripper.
Yeah, bro. He's got to like spray water in it or something.
Yeah, he looks like a stripper. He looks like a stripper. Oh,
Oh,
Jesus
oh,
Christ.
man,
Well, it's
fucking
another
hell.
game. We got Wolves on Saturday. Could be worse.
All I'm saying is,
Could be worse. It could look like a, you know what I mean?
when the season's said and done, bro, hopefully we win something, and it will make all these streams, and that will make a great story in the end. Remember when we was down out? Put the Rocky theme in the background and that come back up. And if it doesn't work out like that, then we can just allow it.
Remember that stream we did where Jamie booted someone out his window?
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be remembered for, bro. Flipping
It
out.
just, I was sitting here. I could hear someone in my front garden because I've got all pebbles in the garden. So I could hear someone walking in the front garden because my car would usually be there, but obviously it's not there. And like my windows are open downstairs because my house is absolutely boiling. And I've got the lights on there, the telly's on downstairs, and I waste electric so much. Greta Thunberg hate me. And this geezer's just come through my bloody window like that. He's gone like this way. He's like this. Like, and he's ending my
Mate.
window. All right, mate. I just went, all right, mate. And he went, shit. And I just kicked him in the head.
Oi, it would have been a homicide if he came from my window, bro. I'll shoot the geezer, bro.
Savage would have pulled him in.
Bro.
You
I'll
kicked him
shoot him
out.
so fast, bro, and get rid of the body, bro. I'm not. Forget these guys, man.
Oh,
Jay,
man.
let me know if you need protection, bro. I'll send a care package over, bro.
No, I'll be all right. He's gone. Don't know what he wanted. Don't even know what he wanted, but he's all right.
Well, I'm at the Wolves game, so hopefully I'm a lucky charm. I'll try to get some.
Kev, weren't you not a lucky charm the last time you went?
Yeah, the Spurs. Yeah.
Well,
but like we were playing well, and then we had a bad result.
Which Spurs one was it? The 2-2 or the 1-1?
1-1.
The one when we lost the title. Yeah.
I'll blame Cav then.
Yeah,
Son scored right in front of me, and I was near the Spurs away fans, and it was.
I've just seen Sonny King. I'll put that picture, our favourite picture.
Oh, for flip's sake.
Yeah, all right. I don't know if Sonny King's new round here.
Start using the old pic, man. Don't use the new one.
I don't know if Sonny King's new round. It was Sonny Kang, sorry, his new round here, but he just said what we all said.
No way did he
Line
say
over.
that. No way. That's exactly what she looks like as well, man.
You said that before as well, didn't you, Jamie?
Yeah,
you said that one before, yeah.
Lino, man.
Yeah, man. Amanda was a looker back in the day, bro. I don't know what happened, bro.
Jody, it's 5 to 2 in the morning.
She wants to. That is true. That is true.
Listen, this is therapy, Jody. Like,
yeah, sorry about that, Jamie. I didn't realise you were home. Batman finding my live. There was that geezer, though, weren't there? Who knew where I was?
yeah, the one who knew where the trains was by your house.
Yeah. He knew the train station and what pub I was at. Yeah, it's getting
As I
fucked
said,
up.
Jay, send the message if you need a care package, bro. Send it, bro. I got all kinds of tasers. Yeah, I'm saying I got everything, bro. Just send it over, man.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jody's from Toronto.
Big up,
Come
Jody
on.
in Toronto. Yeah, I think someone just said rumour CM Punk's been fired. So have you not like your resting thing yet? There you go. Should have been
That's
as well.
bad, one of my sources earlier told me he got suspended, but
Well, the titles have all been vacated. They're just doing a tournament now on the
because he's not the only one. All of them have been suspended.
Yeah.
Get up Jeff's comment, Jeff Foster.
Where's at the bottom? Oh yeah.
Isn't that serious? should Gottlieb know you leave?
Jeff talking to himself.
I don't know who he's
He's had a
talking
whole
to.
conversation with himself.
No, because I put it in the title. Should Klopp leave? And then we obviously Jeff's only just
He was
come in
talking
and
to
not.
himself, bro. Like,
Jeff's only just come in and not realised that it's not like we're not saying he should go. It's like if he's feeling the pressure and he doesn't want to do this anymore, should he leave? Not like he should leave. Jeff, we don't want him going anywhere. It was just like a little question. Jeez.
That's a good one.
But I can't leave anywhere.
No,
because
you
it's done.
leave.
Where am I meant to go? I can get rid of the other two. There you go. They've gone. I mean, what else? Apart from that, I can't really do anything else. Oh.
I'll tell you what.
UFC title. Oh man.
AEW know what's good for them. They turned the whole thing into an angle, bro.
CM Punk's the biggest prick I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
all these wrestlers. I mean, I don't follow wrestling like you guys. All these wrestlers stay around for years, don't they?
Well, CM Punk's the biggest prick I've ever seen in my life, and
I
deserves
thought you.
everything he
I
gets.
thought you was coming through with some stats. when
Oh
you
no,
started
no,
that.
he's just a massive. He's just a massive bellend who thinks he's God's gift, and he just needs to be taught a lesson. Bobby Fish needs to take him
Is
out.
that his character? Is that his character or him?
No,
actually?
he's just a cunt.
Really.
To be fair, man, their boss basically.
Only Khan is just words. He just let him
Basically,
do it all.
their boss is the person who owns Fulham as well, Tony
Yeah,
Khan.
yeah. And
he's a
he
pussy.
basically
Oh,
sat
okay,
next
that
to
rings
him.
a bell actually.
Yeah,
He
he's a bit of a
he
wimp, man.
sat next to CM Punk in a press conference,
Mm.
and CM Punk slagged off all his employees, right? And he didn't do a thing about it. He just sat there and let him talk.
Mm.
He's a useless boss. He's just a mark. Terrible.
Yeah, it's that
Absolutely
money, man.
useless.
It's
Deserves
that
everything he gets.
big money, bro.
Yeah, but Punk's apparently been gone. So good luck to Punk. What a prick.
Mm.
Yes, that's leave. Right, before we go, guys, I just want to show we're going to leave on this. I've got a new intro made by Cav. So we're going to use it as the outro today and then go use it as the intro going forward.
Let me just clarify.
It's a good
Right,
intro. I love it.
I don't do media, right? I'm just the guy that has a laptop and once came on YouTube and stuck to it. I don't do this kind of thing, but I was bored the other day, so I thought I'd try my hand at
It's
it.
really good, guys. So
Man,
yeah,
like media, Kevin. Come on.
Gav made this, and it's going to be the intro going forward. So, yeah, big up to Gav. So we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you for everyone coming in. Thank you for tuning in tonight. See you all tomorrow, hopefully.
Peace
Big
out,
up to
boys.
everyone.
Cheers,
Good night.
guys. See you later.